What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Operation Grim Sky full reveal. My name is Justin Kruger, community developer on Rainbow Six Siege, and today we are about to go over all the details of our two new operators, Maverick and Clash. And we have a new rework in the works coming to you very soon, the rework of Hereford. And to help me break down all of these details, please welcome our two panelists, Jeremy Dowsett, level designer, and Emilian Lomé, game designer. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. These events have been amazing. The games have been amazing. Emilian, how has your event been so far?
That week has been incredible. It's insane to see the crowd, to see the team at the level they have. It's fantastic. Such a good time.
The crowd has been incredible this entire event. They've been going crazy, and I know they cannot wait to get into some of this content that we got coming up. And so let's get right into it. Without further ado, let's take a look at Hereford base, our reworked Hereford base. Jeremy, let's, for those people that don't know what a rework is, what exactly is a rework?
A rework is an opportunity for the team to go through and look at legacy maps that we've built. And in this case, Hereford was the first map that we actually built and prototyped the game on. And look at the problems and rework it from the start. You know, in this case, it's a brand new map. If you look at the old Hereford now that's up on the screen and look at the new Hereford, we've completely redone it from the ground up. Completely redone it,
so it's way different than what we've introduced last season with the map buff. This is a new map, bottom line. I mean, it's a little familiar, but it's really new.
Players that know Siege and know the game will recognize it. They'll recognize the thematics, the Spitfires, the control tower, and the shooting range, but the inside is, you know, it's a slightly bigger floor plan than it was before, with more rotation options and more verticality. So we've gone through and made a brand new map for the community.
Right, and so you mentioned some of the issues with the old Hereford base. What were some of those issues, and why did you need to fix them for this map? Obviously, it's a little bit old now. It was the first map ever made, but now you're going in and changing the guts of it.
Basically, the problem with the old Hereford was the destruction needed to be updated, and also that there was only one really viable bomb site, which was down in the basement. So, you know, when you're playing a game and it's always the same bomb site, and the other bomb sites don't get used, it's no fun to play. So what we've done now is 4 bomb sites, more stairs, more verticality, more destruction, and just made it so it's actually a much more viable and much more fun map to play.
As a level designer, do you feel as though that's one of the biggest challenges and most important aspects of your job, to see that variety in bomb site selection in order to have a balanced map?
You have to make sure that bomb sites are completely viable. You don't want one that's slightly overpowered, because then once it goes ranked or pro, they'll always pick that bomb site, you know, but now they have to play all the bomb sites. But the real thing is you want viable bomb sites, you want variety in the map, and you do really want it to be balanced and to play well as much as humanly possible.
Yeah, and a really key thing that we were talking about last time you were up here in May at the Atlantic City Finals was rotations. And for Villa, rotations were integrated into that from the beginning, but the old Hereford had some issues with rotations. And what have you guys done to resolve some of that? You mentioned the stairs as well, but tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the problem when you look at it from a single staircase map is there's no viability of rotation. So we've added a second set of stairs that go all the way up, all the way down, which allows for greater rotation. Then you add the traps, and then you add the balconies on the outside. It allows the attackers and the defenders to rotate really quickly, depending on how they want to play the bomb sites.
Yeah, and I want to point out really quickly, we're going to get into all of those bomb sites in just a moment, but I wanted to point out the design, the art design. You and your team and the art team back in Montreal have done an incredible job at revamping this map.
The art team, again, have done an absolutely superb job. You know, it feels like Hereford. It doesn't feel like it's a completely alien space. It feels like Hereford. It looks like Hereford. It's got the same thematics, the same feel. Like Max and the art team in Montreal did an absolutely superb job. Of course, it's England, so they made it rain, which kind of irks,
you feel insulted.
It irks me a little bit that it's raining. It doesn't rain in England all the time, but you know, it's grim sky. It's raining. You know, it fits really well with the operation.
Fits it. You feel it. You feel the ambiance. You feel the environment. And I think you know, I got tweeted at when we first revealed this this map. One of the tweets that I received was, you know, it feels as though as as though I imagined exactly how it would be in the books. So, you know, it's going back to a little bit of that thematics that we really wanted to introduce with Hereford. The old art style was a little bit gray all over the place. Hard to do a lot of call-outs on that as well. It impacted gameplay, and I think players will be pleasantly surprised when they enter into Hereford for the first time.
It's definitely not a problem anymore. The thematics are very strong, and it's great to hear that people feel that when they see this map now, they feel like it's come from the books. You know, that's what we strive to achieve at all times, is to go through and make it feel like a real living, breathing place, you know. And like I said, the art team did an amazing job on this, and I'm super proud to have worked on the map with the other designers.
Yeah, all right, so let's go into the spawns and into this building and break it down bomb site by bomb site, because I really want to get into the guts of this. But let's start with the spawn points. What has changed with the spawn points?
Nothing much has really changed with the spawn points. You've still got control tower, the shooting range, and the Spitfire courtyard. So that will feel very familiar to anyone that's played Hereford, and hopefully the entire community has. So nothing's really changed. The approaches have changed, because obviously the outside's completely changed, the inside's changed. The approaches have changed a little bit, but they're pretty well sheltered, and they're very good approach lines for
So in terms of those approaches, you know, a lot of those elements, a lot of those objects that were there before have completely been redesigned.
Yes, everything's been redesigned.
Yeah, cool. All right, so let's get into the guts of this building. Jeremy, I know you're excited to break it down. We're going to be going floor by floor, starting with the third floor down all the way to the basement. So let's start with that third floor bomb sites, and we have ammo and tractor on the third floor. How you got a tractor on the third floor is beyond me, but, you know, break down the strategy for this.
Ammo and tractor is actually one of the bomb sites that we actually had the most trouble with. It wasn't very viable, and we had to rework it a few times. It's a very open space with not too much cover, so it does make it quite tricky to actually go through and defend. There's no direct access really to a bomb site, so as per usual, you have to commit to the bomb site to actually go through and be able to attack it, or, you know, attack it fully. It's really interesting because you're looking for the attackers to come from the balcony or from the two stairs that come up.
Yeah, and we're going to be taking a look at that that entranceway in just a moment, but you know, that strategy of defending from the balcony, from the outside, from the top. How is that for you as a designer to really design that defense point?
It's actually really fun to design something like that, and there's a few little tips and tricks you can actually use as an attacker. Remember, there is a drone vent up on the roof, so if you need to drone that bomb site, or if you need to drone any bomb site, you can go top down or bottom up. But what makes this so fun is there's so many avenues for the attackers to come at you from the stairs or from the balcony, so you can feint out the defenders quite easily.
Yeah, from the stairs or even the roof. I feel like there's going to be a lot of external rotations on this map for this bomb site.
I think you're going to find a lot of people, if they need to rotate, they'll go up on the roof and come down and rappel on the other side for sure.
And now that balcony is really important as well. Talk to us a little bit about that balcony. Why is that there?
The balcony's there to allow another option for the attackers to actually come in, but to also have another avenue for defense, because if you've only got two sets of stairs and a couple of windows, it's not really enough for, you know, fun gameplay. But you throw that balcony into the mix, it really does mix it up, and it's a very, very tense bomb site to defend.
One of the words that you described this bomb site was absolute chaos.
It's so much fun. Even when we're playtesting it internally, like, you can hear the team screaming, like just because sometimes you just get hit and you just don't expect to know where it's coming from, and it just comes from every side, and there's not much cover, and you're just running for hell. It's so much fun to play. I think the community is going to love this one.
And I mean, that's where we always start with on our maps. Our operators is fun, right?
Yeah.
So that's what you're trying to achieve here. All right, let's move on to the second floor. We have kids' room and master bedroom on the second floor. Let's take a look at these bomb sites here. Tell us a little bit about the strategy behind defending and attacking the second floor.
Kids' room, master bedroom is a really good area to go through and play. It's a very viable bomb site. It's an awful lot of fun. You see in the kids' bedroom, there's the bunk beds and there's the bomb right on the side, and it's really fun to try and defend the bomb. Like, if you got someone staying back and trying to hold the area, and there's a lot of options to actually extend your defense on this floor for sure.
Yeah, and you mentioned that verticality.
Yes.
And that verticality comes in play on the second floor really, really importantly, because you have those hatches, you have those line of sight floors on both sides.
Yeah.
On the floors and the ceilings. So how are players going to be defending against that verticality on this floor?
It's a tricky one. I haven't quite figured it out myself yet, but you'll generally find people there are areas that aren't actually destructible floor, and you'll find a lot of people will be rotating through those areas, knowing that they've actually got a little safe passage for a period of time. But you can get shot, like you said, from above or from below, so you're never really safe.
Yeah, I think that's one of the key things on this new rework is that verticality, and we'll see it throughout the map entirely on that third floor, on that second floor. And now let's move on to the first floor, where we have kitchen dining room. Tell us about the strategies that you'll see on kitchen dining room, and what has changed on the first floor, Jeremy?
Okay, what's changed on the first floor is there was that massive choke.
That massive hallway where you have the choke point at the entrance and the choke point at the stairs, and chaos in the middle. So is that still there?
No, that's not there anymore.
Okay.
We've the entire floor plan for the entire map has changed, but obviously you don't want choke points when you're designing a map, so we've taken as many of the choke points as you can actually out of the map. So the corridor's not straight. You've still got quite good line of sight. Playing with a mirror wall is actually really quite fun. Well, actually on all the bomb sites is really fun, but I find that playing a mirror on this site is really nice, and because you can destroy the walls between the two bomb sites, it allows for really fast rotations, but it is the ground floor, so you've also got the problem of you're defending the windows because the attackers can get to you really quickly, or they can just come through the basement up the stairs.
Yeah.
So it's one of those bomb sites that it's really fun to play, but you need to get your strats down really well to figure out what you're going to do, and communication is key.
Speaking of coming in through the basement, let's take a look at our basement map, or basement bomb sites, where we have brewery and fermentation room. Now, as a UK man yourself, I am very pleased to see that there's a brewery in the basement of Hereford. Well, it's only fitting.
It's the SAS. I'm sure the SAS drink a fair amount of beer. It's a great thematic, when it's cold and rainy outside, you want to drink some beer, right?
Exactly.
Basement's really fun. There's a couple of big objects for the fermentation tanks that are bulletproof, so you've got a long line where you can actually shoot through and go back and forth, which is really nice.
And one of the key things is we're taking a look at the tunnel right now, which is a new addition. Why did you add this tunnel? What is so key about this?
If you put a basement in the ground and you've only got 2 sets of stairs, it's not fun because you know exactly where the attackers are going to come from. They're going to come from the stairs. So you can't do that because it won't be fun, and then we'll have the same problem again with the original Hereford, which is they're only going to play the one viable bomb site because it's easy to defend.
Right.
You add the tunnel on the outside, and then you add the garage, which is off on the side as well. It allows the attackers to actually have more ways to actually enter the building, and it makes for a much more interesting defense as well.
Much more interesting defense, and a much more interesting map, because you have that access point and people can enter it, the attackers can enter it through the basement to attack the first floor, and they can use it as, of course, on that basement approach as well, but that becomes so crucial.
Of course, it's one of those things where, when you watch the pros plays and you watch ranked level players play, you watch them droning a lot of the time, and this map allows for droning from the basement, so you can go through and check for the roamers, and it allows from roaming from the top as well, so you can actually come down with your drone from the roof, and you're in relative safety on the roof, and you're in relative safety outside when you're down by the basement as well. So it allows anyone that's playing a roaming game and a droning out game to actually allows them a lot of options for sure.
A lot of options, a lot of creativity, a lot of strategy that I'm sure we'll see once this hits the test server. But before we close out Hereford, what are some of the key takeaways that you want the community to know about?
The most important thing when you approach this map is remember it's a brand new map, but the 2 stairwells are definitely key. The drone vent on the roof and definitely the balcony on the side, because they're the 3 elements that are really going to allow players to actually get in and explore the map quickly and get to their objective fast.
Why did you feel it's so necessary to add that second stairwell?
It's mainly for navigation and flow. You know, when we design maps in Montreal, we look at navigation, flow, verticality, and viability of bomb sites. One set of stairs isn't enough for navigation and flow, and it doesn't allow for very good rotations. So obviously, you need to add a second set of stairs. Now, when you've got two sets of stairs, you're essentially creating two choke points where you can get stopped quite quickly. So if you add the balcony as another option, you know, it allows people to run around and roam much easier. So it allows the verticality in the roaming game to be much stronger. Yeah,
and of course, as we also wrap up with the balcony becomes that amazing, amazing external approach for the attackers and a nightmare, potential nightmare for the defenders as well.
I wouldn't say nightmare. I'd say it's just, it's kind of fun because when you get it right, it feels so good.
So good.
But when you're slightly off your game and you're not hitting your shots, yeah, it can lead to a world of pain very quickly.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
The attackers can utilize that approach and get cut off or get a frag in the early game as they're picking off the defender in that area, guarding that area. They can really utilize that and take that to their advantage.
It's really interesting, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the way the strats come out and the way people play the game. I've been watching people in the free play area playing the map, and it's really interesting to see what they're doing on the map because it's beautiful.
I've heard incredible feedback from everybody that I've talked to here at Paris about the map, about the operators, and we'll get to the operators in just a moment. But that is your first look at Hereford Base. I'm so excited for players to discover that balcony, discover those stairs, discover the verticality, and fewer spawn peaks as well.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm sure Amelia is very sad to hear.
Oh, there's definitely less spawn peaks for sure. Like, we shut those down pretty early in production because, yeah, no one likes spawn peaks and no one likes to get killed at the spawn point. Oh,
Amelia loves spawn peaks. Let's be honest. He spawn peaks everyone. Well, that is your first look at Hereford Base coming your way to the test server on Monday, August 20th. That's tomorrow. You'll get to play this tomorrow on the test server on PC. So without further ado, let's get into our operators. We have our two new operators, Maverick and Clash, and to introduce them, let's take a look at this quick video from Ubisoft News.
In Operation Grim Sky, things are heating up and getting electric as two new operators, one attacker and one defender, join Team Rainbow, where they'll put their training to the test on a completely reworked Hereford base. The gentleman quietly burning a hole through this reinforced wall is Maverick. A 1-armor, 3-speed operator, Maverick comes equipped with the Surrey Torch. Unlike Thermite and Hibana, who are able to make large holes in reinforced walls, Maverick is able to burn his way through barriers and create holes of various sizes. It'll take up nearly all of your torch's fuel to create a hole you can actually move through, but what Maverick excels at is cutting out small, sneaky windows, creating sight lines nearly anywhere. The Surrey Torch is able to melt just about anything, like breakable walls, reinforced walls, castle barricades, deployable shields, floor hatches, Maestro's evil eye, and even defending operators. This is one of the most dynamic gadgets around, capable of melting holes of many shapes and sizes in the defending team's reinforcements. Any attacker can take advantage of Maverick's handiwork, but with the new AR-1550 or the M4 assault rifle in hand, he does just fine on his own. Maverick's torch is handy for eliminating enemy gadgets as well. Play peekaboo with bandit batteries and mute jammers to clear the way for Thermite or Hibana, or just open a little door for Twitch's drone to roll through and take care of business. For bigger holes, you'll need a steady hand. Move across a wall too quickly and the torch won't have enough time to cut through. Too slowly and you'll waste your limited fuel supply. Aiming down sights will help you maintain a consistent speed while ensuring those crisp, clean cutouts. And while it's not completely silent, Maverick's torch is pretty quiet, opening up possibilities for stealth, subterfuge, and so many deadly new sightlines. Defenders will have to be extra vigilant against small breaches, but Maverick needs to stay sharp as well. The Surrey Torch isn't much of a weapon, and its 2-meter range leaves Maverick vulnerable while he's crafting his latest work of art. A quick call out from a defender could leave you vulnerable to a flanking attack, so be sure to deploy that claymore wisely. Or you could use it deviously, planting it by a small breach hole as a trap for careless enemies. With all these new holes appearing in your defenses, it's nice to have a defender who offers some extra protection. That defender is Clash, the first shield-bearing defender in Siege. Her indestructible CCE shield covers the entire front of her body and comes with a built-in taser that slows and damages enemies within range, making her a formidable obstacle. Her taser operates on a charge and will refill whenever it's not active. Mind your battery level though. If you drain the shield's charge completely, you'll have to wait until it fully recharges to use it again. To whip out her sidearm weapons, Clash has to put her shield on her back, where it will still offer some protection, just like other shields do. She can certainly get a kill in a pinch, but her main focus is crowd control. As a former riot officer with the British MPS, Clash is no stranger to close quarters action. Slowing down the attack makes the clock work in your favor, while drawing your enemy's attention has the added benefit of making them more susceptible to flanking attacks from your teammates. And let's not forget one of the most powerful things a shield can do: block enemy fire. Has that pesky Maverick cut a hole into a reinforced wall and exposed your entire team? Plug it up with Clash. Sometimes physically blocking an enemy's progress is your best play, but don't be afraid to use your protection to your advantage. With 3 armor and 1 speed, Clash might seem like the furthest thing from a roamer, but her shield allows her to be in spaces where defenders normally fear to tread. Stroll outside for some early game scouting, and use your map knowledge to roam in areas where attackers can't easily get behind you. Your P10C or SPSMG sidearms mean enemies can't safely turn their back on you. But even with your shield up, you're not invincible. Thatcher can temporarily disable the taser with his EMP grenades. And Capitão's asphyxiating bolts can do serious damage to the slow-moving Clash, even with her shield equipped. Furthermore, Clash cannot melee with her shield. In fact, if an enemy manages to melee her, or if she gets hit with a concussion grenade from Zofia, she'll drop her guard momentarily and be partially exposed. But Clash is not one to be vulnerable for long, and getting through her stalwart defense will prove to be a tall order. Operation Grim Sky is set to seriously shake things up on both sides of the conflict. For more on Rainbow Six Siege, subscribe to our YouTube channel and be sure to check out news.ubisoft.com.
And there it is. That's your first look at Clash and Maverick. And now I'd like to bring in Emilien Lomé, game designer on Rainbow Six. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Justin. Thank you very much.
You're going to be breaking down all the design reasons behind these two operators. But let's first break down who they are. Let's get to know Clash. Clash, who is she?
Well, Clash is someone who believes to fight for the good cause. She puts team play above all else. She's resolute, she's sharp-witted, and she's a bit arrogant, but extremely loyal.
Arrogant but loyal. I like her already. So how does her gameplay play out? Obviously, we saw a little bit in that footage, but how did you design her?
So the idea was indeed to bring a shielded defense, which might seem and sound terrifying, and that makes a lot of sense.
Very scary.
But ever since we released Siege, we had 2.5 years of experience to try to pick what we liked from the shield gameplay and adapt that to the notion of shield in defense. And that was a long process, but we think we found something interesting.
So you took like what you liked the most from Montaigne and what you liked the most from Blitz, sort of married them together in Clash a little bit, yeah.
Kind of that, and at the same time is like you have to both take what you like from shield and also think it's a defense shield. It doesn't have to push the side, she just has to stand there and prevent them from pushing. So we focused the shield mostly on the defensive aspect, that was super key, on the team play aspect, but we removed a lot of elements of lethality.
Emilien, this is our first defense operator with a shield. Why are we introducing this now to the game?
Well, we definitely want to explore new areas of gameplay in every scene, like as much as we can, and expand on things that already exist, but also bring some new things, new fun things to play around. Clash in our situation was mostly we need someone who can bring a new way to play as a team, and definitely since she is very low lethality, she really needs her teammate to do the job with her. She needs to communicate a lot, and that's what we like about Clash.
So you would describe her more as like a team play operator than anything else, right?
Yes, definitely, above all else.
Above all else, why is she so good at creating in team play situations?
Well, we do believe that even though she's 3 armor and 1 speed, and she's carrying a shield, so she's fairly slow, but the way we see her play, at least in the early round, is to move around the bomb site, move around the map, and collect information, because she's so resilient that she can access places that others cannot. However, if she gets too far away from her teammate, since she's not capable really to defend herself that well, she will be very, very weak to the enemy team. So she needs at the same time to be very well aware of the position of the enemy and her teammate.
Right, so because she has low lethality, she needs a little bit of backup, a little bit of support before she pulls out her weapons. And I mean, looking at her, she really is strong at gathering that intel, as you mentioned. Would you sort of describe her as like a roaming anchor? Is that something you would say?
It's kind of accurate, yeah. I would say it's like this 2-stage in the round where you would be like this roaming or support roamer, like the first part of the round, relaying information a lot, moving a lot, gathering information, and then maybe come back to site in the second half to try to use a shield, a taser shield that will slow down your enemies to prevent the push and prevent the enemy from planting the diffuser and accessing the objective.
Yeah, the taser is really one of the key elements of her gadget. It keeps players at bay, it keeps them at distance. Is that really important for Clash?
Yes, it's really key because, like I said, contrary to other shield, every shield we have, especially Blitz, but also even Montaigne or even Hughes, they want to close the gap to you. Their long range are not that effective, but they want to close the gap. They want to get to your face. However, Clash is the exact opposite. She's a shield in defense, so you need to think this the other way around. She will do everything in her power to prevent you from making to close range, because she's extremely weak at close range. She will try to do the exact opposite, and new player that will discover Clash after playing other shields will need to get that in mind as well. When they see Clash, do not run away. Try to close the gap.
Try to rush her, try and close that gap in order to get that melee off so that you can have that semi-guard break. Now, you mentioned, circling back a little bit, you mentioned team play. That is one of the key aspects of Clash. How do you think she's going to fare in competitive play here?
I'm very curious about that. To be honest, it's always extremely difficult to plan what's going to happen in Pro League. Since she requires a lot of team play, I do expect to see her. It's a big sacrifice to bring Clash with you, because you do not lose the gun entirely, but almost. And if you do that, you need to make the most out of her capability, and that implies a lot of team play. So I do see her being used there as roaming, supporting the roamers, preventing access to the site, playing the time a lot, which is the most important resource in the game.
Potentially that's where she's going to shine the most, because you are going to have that communication, that coordination between players, and have structured strategies around Clash where she's not only defending and blocking a site push, but she can push outside the map a little bit and gather that intel to the team, and then also provide a little strategy of maybe having a defender behind her in order to see through the shield, because that shield is see-through. That's the first see-through shield we're introducing. Why do you think that's so key to Clash?
Well, the see-through aspect of the shield is really interesting. It gives the defender, it's not like a mirror in the sense that you see through both ways, but still it kind of is this movable mirror that you can move through the map with the Jaeger behind and get some kills. So this is the first aspect. Second aspect is a very big shield, and it's terrifying. The psychological effect of seeing Clash will refocus the attention of the attacking team on them. And this is where team play comes back here, because as soon as the attention is focused on you, now is the time for Ella and Jaeger and anyone free speed around to get the kills against the attacking team.
Right, get that kills from behind her as a, she seems like a really good, solid support character. Low lethality, but she still has guns, right? This is still Rainbow Six Siege. Let's take a look at her loadout. What is she packing? So
yeah, her primary weapon is the shield, and she cannot have a sidearm with that shield. It's a big shield, and you cannot have your sidearm with it. But
so in the same way that like Blitz and Montaigne have their primary as like as their shield.
Yes, but they have their sidearm with the shield.
Right.
She cannot.
She can't.
But if she plays the shield in her back, she can access her sidearms, which are both great weapons. We have a handgun, and the first burst fire weapon of the game, 2 bullets. Both of them come equipped with embedded sight, and really good sight, by the way. They will never be as powerful as an SMG, but they can do the job if you're like the last survivor, or if the enemy team realizing that you're not a threat, look away. Yeah, now is your turn to shine.
In a pinch, when you really need to just get a kill, she can pull those out. Yeah. Now let's go on to her secondary gadgets as well, because she has a few very useful ones.
Yes, the secondary gadgets are definitely tailored to fit the 2 roles we mentioned. There's this first part of the round where you move around, and then you have the impact grenade that allows you to create holes in your defense to have your defenders run around, or even if you are supported by a runner, make those rotation on a pinch. Yeah. Second gadget, more the second part of the round. If you want to prevent the push, you have the barbed wire, which would increase your ability to prevent the enemy from pushing the bombs.
That's a really deadly combination there with the barbed wire plus the shock. Yes. That's going to be tough to counter. Speaking of the counters, though, she is counterable. She does have weaknesses. A lot of people came up to me when they first saw Clash. They were like, you know, I think shields are OP. I think they are unbalanced. So how have you balanced Clash?
Well, she has, like, again, we had a learning in these 2.5 years of having Blitz running around and all, and now we think that we found some ways to have Clash being very interesting to play, but also not as frustrating to play against. And most of those counter comes from that. She cannot melee you at short range. That's not possible for her. So, but you can. You will trigger this semi-guard break that will move the shield to the side and allow you to shoot her legs. However, that means you need to get to close range. To do that, you can use Thatcher. Because Thatcher's EMP will disable the shield and allow you to bypass the taser part of the shield.
Yeah, and we also saw Zofia, and we also saw Capitao as counters. Who do you think is the most, the strongest counter against Clash?
Capitao is definitely the strongest. She's slow, she has a shield on top of that, and the Firebolt, if you place it right, you will kill Clash very fast. Capitao is definitely very strong against Clash, but Thatcher and Zofia can do a pretty good job.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that is a look at Clash coming your way to the test server very shortly, but let's also take a look at her BDUs that are coming with the launch of Grim Sky. Of course, these BDUs are available with the Year 3 Season Pass. This is a head-to-toe customization, and they look really cool. They're sort of Grim Sky themed and Grim Sky colored, so it's super cool. Her art design is wonderful as well.
I love her. She's very beautiful. She's
really
amazingly cool. Badass.
Yeah, so you'll be able to play her tomorrow. Another person that you'll be able to play is Maverick. Let's go into Maverick. Who is Maverick, Emilian?
Well, Maverick is an enigma within Siege. And within the Team Rainbow, he's solitary. He's very good at reading human mind, though, but it's difficult to know a lot about him. He's very famous for his precise work, though, and his high adaptability. But outside of that, stay as an enigma.
He's an enigma of a man, an enigma with his gadget, because that gadget is so cool. How does his gameplay designed from your side?
So yeah, the design there was we wanted to bring a third hand breacher to the meta. That was key, but we wanted to make sure that it was very different from Thermite and Ibana, and that was a big challenge. And we came up with this idea that allows Maverick to do a very different role than those two. Yeah.
So why, as a designer, as a game designer on Rainbow Six Siege, was it important for you guys to introduce a third hard breacher? Why is that important?
There is multiple aspects to this question. One of them, for competitive play, is we introduced pick and ban recently, and despite the fact that they can ban both hard breacher and it rarely happens, we still want to make sure that we have 3 options. That's the one thing. Second thing, even more important to us, is the metal breaching role is a very key role in Siege, and people that play that role have limited options, just 2. And we needed a third one to give them a new aspect of how to approach a bomb site, and third on bomb site, Maverick would be extremely relevant contrary to the other 2, or in combination with the other 2.
His gadget is so much different from them, where Hibana and Thermite have this really binary, it's either open or closed. Maverick has a lot of creativity. What are some of the strategies that you've seen in your play sessions?
Well, in practice, we introduced Maverick as a hard breacher. That was the key. But what we see in the gameplay, and it's very true, is he stands between hard breacher and disabler. You have Twitch, Thatcher, Thermite, Ibana, and he's somewhere between the 2. Because you can bring him as your main hard breacher and try to make small holes, or you can bring him with Thermite to destroy the bandit battery, the new jammers, and you can use him with this specific role.
Yeah. And obviously, he is an alternative to like a Hibana and Thermite. But he has a lot of those synergies.
Yes.
And I think we're going to see a lot of that gameplay as well, where people are using either a thermite to distract or and the Maverick would then flank around and maybe create a couple of kill holes. Is that something that you are expecting players
Definitely.
to find?
That would be, if you don't use him necessarily as a man breacher, which should be rare, or as a disabler, you have this third option. He's 3-speed, he's fast, and his gadget is fairly silent. So you can just run around and destroy, make some tiny holes in the defense beyond them. And when they're watching thermite blowing up the wall, they're watching the other way, and then you can get some pretty sneaky kills.
Yeah, again, for a competitive player, how do you think he's going to play?
It's really, again, super tricky. And since he's so creative in his ability to make whatever he wants, I'm really curious to see what they're going to do. He doesn't have a lot of resources in his gadgets, so he's never going to replace the Thermite or even Ibana, but it's a very new role in the bridging meta, and we're going to see a lot of interesting things with Maverick.
Yeah, a lot of interesting things, a lot of creativity, and let's take a look at his loadout as well. His loadout's pretty powerful, would you say?
Yeah, fairly potent. It's a classic for an attacker, I would say. Yeah. We have a semi-automatic DMR, and we have an assault rifle. Those two very good weapons, and the sound design of those weapons are amazing. 3 armor, 3 speed, 1 armor, so very fast. And he has a handgun with that. But the most important and interesting thing about Maverick and his loadout, secondary gadgets.
Secondary gadgets. Tell us a little bit about his secondary gadgets. What are they?
So the secondary gadgets are very important for him. He has 2, Claymore and Smoke. This is 2 very different approaches to Maverick. The Smoke is, since he's a very potent hard breacher, since he cannot really be countered by Mute and Bandit, he needs drawback. And the drawback is it takes time, a lot of time to make your holes. You're exposed, you're very close to the wall. The enemy team see the torch through the wall, so they can challenge you and try to kill you. So it's very tricky as a Maverick to trying to find a hole if the enemy team is aware. But you can use your smoke grenade. You make a tiny hole, toss the smoke grenade, hide most of it, and then you can finish the job.
Or you can have someone peeking that hole, or like a glass peeking through the smoke.
Yeah, a Blackbeard at the hole.
A lot of options. Oh man, a Blackbeard. Yes. I didn't even think of that. That would be really key. I mean, and also, I mean, he's great counter against Mira as well, as we saw in that trailer where you can have a Twitch drone roll in and pop open those mirror holes. Those have become so important. I mean, we see Mira as like almost 100% pick rate or ban rate as well. Yeah.
Those bottom holes at the bottom of the wall are also very key. You can have a drone go there, so Twitch drone, for example, and deal with the Mira. But this is where the second gadget comes into play. You can place the Claymore mine there and create some insanely sneaky traps.
Insanely sneaky traps. And now let's move on to his counters. How do you stop him?
Well, there is, again, since he's somewhere between Disabler and Metal Breacher, he's not in the same counter loop as Ibana and Thermite, obviously. However, removing this counter meant we had to think of a lot of drawbacks, and as we mentioned, you need to be very close to the wall, the enemy team knows you're there, and you're very slow, and the holes appears as you go. So anyone that just peeked the hole can shoot you. Anyone that tosses C4 through the hole, they know you're like 1.5 meters behind it, so you're gonna die with that. Either you need to sneak and do this discreetly, or you need teammate to cover you.
Now, Emilian, we're introducing an operator that doesn't have a counter directly from another gadget. There's no bandit, no mute counter. Don't you think it's a little silly that the counter against him is just shooting him in the head?
Well, that's the main counter against anyone, to be honest. But I understand the concern. I just encourage the player to play it and see how it goes, in the sense that we were very careful about implementing drawbacks to this powerful gadget.
So the drawbacks, the main one being that you can immediately see him once he makes his holes, and so it's a little bit difficult to pull off some of those.
And he doesn't have enough resources anyway to make holes as big as Thermite would do, even Bana. So it will be, you can have enough resource to make something you can go through, but it would use most of it, and it will never be this big hole where Montaigne can push from you.
Right, you can't create that huge hole for him. Nope. Great, so that is a look at Maverick. Now let's take a look at his BDUs as well that are coming with the launch of Grim Sky. Once again, these are head-to-toe BDUs, customization items that will be day one once Grim Sky launches, and you can get them with the Year 3 Season Pass. So that is a look at Clash and Maverick coming your way to the test server on Monday, August 20th, tomorrow, which is really exciting. Amelia, before we move on to our next segment with breaking down some features that are also coming in Grim Sky, how would you describe Clash of Maverick in just a few words, just to wrap it up?
Well, Well, that's easy actually, because Clash, I use the word a lot, and this is key, and I'm saying it again, team play. Team play, team play, team play. And Maverick, considering the way the gadget function, creativity.
Creativity. Creativity. I cannot wait to see what the players are going to come up with, because they're always smarter than us. They find strategies way better than what we do.
And there are 35 million.
And there's 35 million of them as well who are coming up with strategies. It's really incredible. I cannot wait for you guys to test out Clash and Maverick. But there is also a lot more coming with Grim Sky, and let's break down some of those features right now. The first one being the weapon sight misalignment fix that we covered this in a blog post earlier, but what exactly are we fixing with this weapon sight misalignment?
Well, without going into too many details here, it's a fix we've been working on for a very long time, and we're very happy that it gets into the game now. Basically, oftentimes when you shoot with a weapon, the middle of your screen and the scope would not be aligned, and sometimes you would feel like, I shot the head, but no, the scope was on the head, but not the middle of the screen, so the bullet missed. Now it's no longer the case. Every single moment in the rate of fire of your weapon, the center of the screen is aligned with the fucking weapon.
The people are happy.
The people are happy, Emilian. The people have spoken.
Yeah, finally. We're very happy about that.
Yeah. So bottom line, though, the bullet will go where your reticle is pointing.
Yes, that's this key part. It's like usually that was not happen all the time, and now it will be 100% the case.
Yeah, and I got to ask, this seems like a very important fix that we're introducing. Why did it take so long?
It's tricky. The problem is, like, when we see that for the first time, like more than a year ago, we think, okay, let's try to find an easy fix to that. But there was none, and every fix we had to investigate meant going deep down into the systems we have in place in the core aspect of the game, and it was much more heavy and long than we had expected, and it took a lot of time. We iterate also, we tried a few things that not necessarily worked. This version we're very proud of, and we're confident it will function.
We saw a ton of recoil patterns on the test servers, so this definitely took a process. But it's finally coming with Grim Sky.
Yes, finally.
Yeah, also coming with Grim Sky is the new idle pick. So streamers no longer have to play as recruit when they run away to the bathroom or are getting another drink or whatever. I always see that on stream, and I'm really excited about this change where it'll automatically select a random operator once if you don't select an operator. So that's it's a comfort of life, quality of life. Pick.
It happened to every one of us.
Yeah.
It happened always, and that's really comfortable. The interesting aspect of that is it came from a different feature. It came because we needed that for pick and ban, because there is no recruit in pick and ban. And playing pick and ban, you're like, yeah, but that's cool. Let's just bring this right away into rank and casual in the rest of the game. So this is how, like, those big features that might have meant for different purposes end up just joining the rest of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we have the map rework, but we also have a map buff as well. Jeremy, tell us about the map buff.
Well, everyone knows and loves Consulate, right?
Oh, we all love it.
Well, we've gone through and we've reworked Consulate. You'll see the before and afters here. We've gone through, redone the art. We've gone through, added another bomb site to the map, and we've gone through and looked at the most important thing, which was the early kills and the spawn peaks, and it looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah, the crowd is reacting right now. What do you think? Why do you think it was really important to do these tweaks, these map buffs?
Oh, they really do like the map.
They do like it.
The importance of doing it was the main thing was adding a fourth bomb, so it makes.
Let them clap. They're clapping away. They're cheering. Man.
No, our team in Montreal should be super proud because they did a superb job yet again. But adding a fourth bomb into the map was actually one of the key things we wanted to do, because four bombs equals more fun. It also makes the map an awful lot more viable for ranked and pro play.
Yeah, it was removed from competitive play, and this is one of the reasons why. Or was it? Maybe? I don't know. Well, I know a lot of people have been complaining about it because of some of these issues that you're fixing, but
one of the aspects we had in mind as well when we released pick and ban is we introduced a rotation to 3 bomb sites, and we removed map that didn't have a fourth one.
Right.
However, Consulate was too good to be removed, and those guys just catch our own problem with very well. And now we have
there you go.
So we added a fourth bomb site to make it more viable and more competitive.
Yeah.
So now it's super fun.
Now it's better.
It's prettier. A few things have moved around a little bit, but it's it's like a comfy pair of slippers. You're like, don't be scared. It's still the same map. It's perfectly fine, but it plays better, it looks better, and it's absolutely superb.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, another feature that we just introduced because of Maverick is the new hatch destruction rework. Millian, tell us a little bit about why you guys introduced this.
Well, that's also a thing we had in mind a very long time ago. When we released Ibana, it felt not right that hatch was binary, that hatch would be destroyed or not, and that's it. So what we wanted to do for a while, and that now Maverick allows us to do, is this semi-destruction. That means that if you want to destroy a hatch with thermite, no problem, always work.
Thermite will always blow the hatch, but Hibana, you'll need
6 pellets, exactly. You need your 6 pellets. It doesn't sound like a big difference, but if a roamer is around and gets a few shots on your pellets, then you need to use another of your resources to get the hatch done.
Yeah, or you can have Maverick come by and finish the job.
Exactly.
Right?
Maverick can come by and finish the job. If it deals enough damage to the hatch, it will be destroyed also. So he can deal with hatch as well, but he can also make those sneaky holes and kill people below.
Now we've outlined a lot of these features on our blog, rainbow6.com. We also have a ton more coming with Grim Sky, including two-factor authentication for ranked. We want you guys to protect your accounts, protect those accounts from hackers. So activate two-factor authentication on your accounts. We also have R6 Fix, where you can go and report bugs, report any issues. But we have one more surprise for you, and that is the Elite skin. We have the Frost Elite skin coming with Operation Grim Sky. And here you're taking a look at Frost Elite. Of course, the Elite skins are premium skin that are available with a full head-to-toe redesign of the character, plus a weapon skin, a charm, and that awesome victory screen animation. I'm so pumped for players to try that out. And of course, Operation Grim Sky launches tomorrow on the test server, Monday, August 20th. You'll be able to play it. You'll be able to play Clash, Maverick, the new map rework for Hereford. You'll be able to play the new buff for Consulate. I'm so excited, and thank you guys so much for joining me. Jeremy, Emilian, thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Justin.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
great. Thank you everyone around playing Siege around the world, and thank you everyone in this amazing room. It's fantastic.
It's
and on stream and everywhere.
Incredible celebration of Siege, but do not touch that browser. We have a ton more content coming up for you. We have EG versus G2, but first, we have a live performance right after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, the new theme for the 6 Major! Live here from our final day of the 6 Major in Paris. Thank you to all of our musicians for that incredible performance. That is the new theme for the Majors. Remember, this is just the first. There'll be a 6 Major every year, but before we wrap this one up, we have the contest of contests to look forward to. We know these teams. We know these players. We know that this match always delivers. It tends to always deliver in one direction. Around me are fans of all teams. So many here from Paris and around the world. Have you enjoyed yourselves at the 6 Major? Thank you to all of you for coming. Thank you to all of you for watching. We can, of course, not do this without you. We never would try. We love you, Siege community, all over 35 million players of you. Everybody here who've joined us in Paris for these finals and you watching. It's time to give you that grand final. Many people predicted it. Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. 10 players. Live here at the 6 Major in Paris, it's time for the grand final! Two teams, as I say, we know so well. Two teams have given us so much excitement. World Championships between them, including the most recent one. We know this will be a huge contest and we will keep you waiting no longer. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. For the grand final, here's the first team, EG! Necrox and VK. Canadian, BC, Young, World Championship history. Teams we've seen deliver again and again in a land. They are Evil Geniuses. And their opponents are the reigning world champions. We formerly knew them as Penta. Please welcome G2. Goga, Eunice, Fabian, Pengu, and Cancer Raketti come to the stage. G2. EG and G2. The 6th Invitational rematch. Contests again and again have delivered between the two teams. Is there anything I can ask you? Is there anything any of you want to say, Canadian or any of you, that you want to say to G2 before we start?
Just hope it's a great match as usual. I think there's no doubt that we're the best two teams in the world. And obviously we're looking to prove ourselves to get some revenge here, but I'm looking for a great match.
And G2, words from you, Fabian, perhaps?
I just hope for a great contest and I'm wishing good luck.
Two teams who know each other so well, two teams with nothing but huge respect for each other. Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen, a handshake between these 10 incredible, legendary players of Siege. Good luck to all of them. Right then and there, if you didn't pick it up, Fabian said to Evil Geniuses, good luck, guys. Let's give them a hell of a game. That's what they said. That's what you want. That's what's coming to you here in Paris and everyone watching. EG and G2 for the 6th major. Good luck to both teams. It's a best of 5. It comes to you now. Over to our analysts, Wilkie, Zeronic, and Panky, and the 6th major. And this shield is up for grabs.
There we have it. Both of our teams on the stage, set up and almost ready to go. And now we get to hear from our analysts about what we think is going to happen. Going to give you a forewarning. By the end of this, I'm going to get a prediction out of each of you. I've been nice all weekend, but I'm putting you on the spot now. Alex, I want to... All right, Wookie, Evil Genius's point of view, where do you think their band's going to land and why?
It kind of needs to go to the Villa because they haven't really played that at all, but at the same time they might have something saved for that they just haven't wanted to reveal. So in that case I would see Coastline being the band, but I would still bet my money on Villa.
All right, do you have a predicted order that we end up actually playing the maps that are left?
Well, the map pool heavily favors G2 in this one, so it doesn't really matter how they will pick them, because in the end you need to win 3 to take the title. But if I would be EG, Oregon is open, I would go for that. Well, it depends also if Penta can decide if they want to pick first or ban first. If they let EG ban first, they are gonna also be the first one to pick a map. In that case, you would want to start with your like second best map, because you want to save the one that you really need to win as a third map. So start with something like Border, Oregon for the third map, and at the same time Penta would be in a place in the second pick to pick something like Villa or Clubhouse, and then save their best map as a Coastline or Clubhouse for the 4th pick.
Alex, let's talk about operator bans then, because regardless of the map, we'll have to get those off the table. G2 have been banning Lion everywhere in every space. Is that a thing that's going to be beneficial against Evil Geniuses, or is it an opportunity there for Evil Geniuses to look at it and go, well, we know they're going to ban Lion, they're definitely banning Lion, and that leaves us open to have all these other operators that we're even better at?
I think from G2, Lion isn't so much a targeted ban, they just don't want to play against Lion. And unless they're throwing a massive curveball and they have strats relying around that now, I don't see them not banning it. The only times we haven't seen them ban it, as we talked about yesterday, is when another team banned them. So I'd assume Lion and Mirror from G2.
Mirror. Do you agree with those, Wilkie, or do you think they might need to use their defensive ban a little bit more targeted towards Canadian, like some of these other teams have done? Or is Mirror still the best spot to put that?
Yeah, they are really going for the Mirror. The map pool favors G2, but I think the operator bans favor EG because G2 is more predictable on the operator bans. But with the Lion, I really think G2 needs to take it, because they cannot play their roaming style with Lion on board, because they really like to do that. They hold something, let's say Consulate. They hold admin, and they have one guy on the left corner, one guy on the right corner, and whichever gets pushed, the other one helps, and then there's a third person coming from the print room. Yeah. So they need that help and be able to move to help each other. So if Lyman is on board, he is pretty good denying the movement.
Alex, we're at this point where I want to say, you know, G2 EG has been this back and forth rivalry, but it's not actually been back and forth because it's 3-0 straight up in favor of G2 at the moment. Now we have our maps on the screen. Now we've got that ban as you asked for. In actual fact, from Evil Geniuses, okay, you got your Villa ban, and G2 going with the Oregon ban means we for the overall record for G2, and of course another major title. Let's go over to our casters, find out exactly how it's going to play out, and of course see what their thoughts are on it. Mizo and Milos, take it away.
Thank you very much, Panky. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another grand final with two of the best teams in the world, G2, EG, and what a fantastic best-of-5 unlimited overtime match we will have tonight. I'm Samuel the Medic Finch. With me is Devin Emzo Becker, and look at him. He is so fabulous. And we're getting ready for one banger of a game.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like they're favoring G2 a little bit at the analyst desk, which is understandable given the record of these guys in terms of LAN wins does favor G2 as well. And I feel like them getting the new org has really benefited them in terms of morale. They've been playing, I would say, a little bit more enthusiastic than they had in the past. But EG are a very strat-heavy team in terms of very much counter-stratting the other team. They're going to be looking at that, and I do think this should go back and forth maybe a little bit more than we're expecting. But you never know. The map bans, again, favoring G2 a little bit more.
Yeah, I want to give it to G2 in that map ban, as our analyst desk did highlight the fact that Oregon and Villa are removed. Kind of go still for G2's side, but we'll see what happens in this matchup as we start off map number 1. Ladies and gentlemen, Bank EG versus Gamer Stew. Again, a repeat of 6 Invitational 2018. 3-0 so far is the score for G2 historically. We'll head into map number 1 to see who takes the lead with G2, starting off the bans.
Well, both teams have won this map twice so far going through all the stages, so it's definitely been a good map for both of them. That Lion ban, of course, as called out by the analyst desk, very predictable. This is where EG could throw some curveballs, and there's not really much of a curveball to say, but definitely going to throw off maybe potential some attacks. However, it's very reliant on Thermite in this map, so I don't see that being too big of a problem.
Yeah, we'll see Echo being the first defensive operator here banned up by EG. See, maybe G2 have some strategies revolving around shields as we've seen them in the past. They'll go for potential Mira here at the end. No, Maestro! Oh boy, our first map in a best-of-5 grand final, and Mira is available. Now then again, this is Bank, so this is a map that works very well with Mira, but you're not really required to use her outside of open area, which she kind of gets necessary to use on if you want to have things done a lot easier for you on the defense, and of course downstairs in the basement. But for site number 1, we're going to go to Exec and CEO with Mira as well being picked up here by Fabian. I don't see a 6th pick off of that. You can use her to hold from the Exec office, looking down into Janitor and control the hallway at the same time. As of course, EG will be bringing the Thermite. No access just yet to Maverick, with Habana being banned in this matchup.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a factor the second half of the season, but Castle and Blackbeard 6 picks here, trying to keep things interesting. Young, as we know, very good on that Blackbeard, so that should be fun to watch. This is, of course, a map that we saw G2 playing very, very well yesterday against Secret. Definitely have a lot of good strategies here. Oh, there we go, switching shields.
Yes. Makes a lot of sense. That explains the Echo ban there to make it a lot easier for the shield to come in. You can, of course, use the shield to plant. But ladies and gentlemen, finally, we kick off here our very first round in our best-of-5 grand final of the Paris Major. And what a tournament it has been so far. We finally get to crown a champion at the end of the day. Let me start off with CEO exec set up by G2.
Should be pretty interesting between these guys. If you remember correctly, one of the big factors that worked against EG last time these guys met at Invitational was that Monty was something that was being pulled out by both Pengu and Fabian, and was definitely a big factor. So I like that they're trying to turn the tables here and see if they can pressure them out. Either way, though, both teams know this very well. You see that mirror all the way at the end of the hallway there. That's an interesting. So we were talking yesterday about reinforcing it this time to be able to actually watch out as well. That could work against the Blackbeard if he's going to be trying to peek that.
Kenta Raketti holding this angle.
I'm sorry, it's no Blackbeard.
He potentially can get a snipe on somebody up from the garage, or even coming in from the main entrance to the bank. Canadian, in the meantime, on the Zofia up on the low roof. Just takes down all the glass. He wants to get some information on how the setup is. Maybe there's somebody inside of the elevators at the same time. And EG need to make sure they have tabs on all of that before they can start working their way into the site. Now, with this setup, G2 are not bringing any impact grenades except for the castle, which is more than enough. So we might just see Pengu on the site using the impact grenades to trick against the Thermite. And that is the mindset as well behind EG's ban on Habana. We've seen the impact grenade trick working very, very well.
Yeah, definitely going to counter the way the Necrox might have to play that. But we've also seen how effective Canadian is on that Zofia yesterday, just destroying Rogue many rounds with it on this map. So definitely something they're going to have to watch out for in the defense. Maybe see if they can even target Canadian early, knowing kind of how he plays it, a little bit of an entry frag role.
Now, because of the fact that these impacts are available for the castle, you need to make sure you can pinch in from the opposite angle. And G2 understand that. That's why they have that mirror window that is set up in the back for the dock of Kenta Raketti to play off of. In the meantime, the shield has come forth, and you see the first exothermic charge being used and opens up the wall. No problems at all for EG in this first phase, and the checklist has just been eliminated.
Interesting they didn't try and counter it, as Pengu is playing in there. He could have gone for it, but it could also be that they want to bait them into it and use that to their own advantage. But Junis, the first one to do so, and that's a target kill right on the Canadian.
Very first kill here of our grand final, but NVK refragging, taking down the ACOG here of the dock. Kenta Raketti, Pengu with one, but Necrox with the refrag as he opens up the second wall. It's exactly what EG are looking for. More angles for them to be able to play off of. And Goga here, the barbed wire, unfortunately slowing him down as well. Fabian with the spray in the back. Necrox and NVK are low on health, but they're still alive. It's a 3v3 between the two, and Young stands in the way of the defense. They're trying to bait him into Janitor, as Plant is available here potentially for EG. Fabian rotated into Exec Lounge, and there you go. Necrox going for the diffuser Plant. Should be down here in a second, forcing G2 to go for a retake. The Monty spotted, but Goga has to come in for it. NVK with one on a Fabian. Take care of the Monty. He just pulls back. They're using him perfectly here, but UNS will get the kill on Necrox. Two more left alive. Shield and NVK both are low on health, but there's no information on that position. NVK in the meantime comes around, and Goga will get sniped in. UNS has to play against him, and NVK again! Another kill to end the round, and EG take the first round lead.
I gotta say, that Monty boxing them into that janitor closet absolutely worked. It was a situation where he didn't even die, managed to stick around till the very end, and what a play to start things off by EG. However, we have seen EG go for some very strong leads against G2 in the past, and that not be enough. So they're gonna have to continue this momentum for quite some time to keep this up, but so far a good start. It was unfortunate Canadian was the first to go, but the rest of his team had a solid plan. They were not even countered in opening the wall, and well played by Necrox getting that going. Really made a difference.
Yeah, the instant EG realized that there's nobody on the site and that the rest of the remaining players from G2 were just holding angles, they came in and they got the plant down, all due to the fact that the Thermite was not fought when the opportunity was given, really. And Young this time. Again, on the Monty, no switching around to the Blackbeard.
There we go.
Operator he's fairly familiar with.
We saw how effective he was with it, attacking this particular site yesterday as well. He was pretty deadly, firing into that CCTV room, as well as all the way into the red hallway. Imagine they're going to take advantage of that along with the Capitao this time to really be able to lock down on that attack to pressure them. But, as you pointed out, Mira is unbanned, or not banned rather, so Goga going to be able to at least hold that red hallway potentially a little more effectively.
And look at the big part, Caveira being played by Jonas. Now, we've seen this operator in the past played by Latin America even before they were in the Pro League circuit. And we've seen it played a couple of times on an olden map, on Cafe Dostoyevsky by Vertical from Mouse Sports. That was a long time ago. And otherwise, we've seen her played once as well in this tournament on this very same site defense and on this map. So Jonas playing with the Spas 15, making a lot of sense since the Legion does quite a bit of damage up close to down your opponents. Bulletproof camera being brought as well that can see through smokes. Downside is you cannot move the line of sight of the camera. And Canadian, there we go. He gets the spot on the Cav, and he escapes with the drone. He sprays onto the side, trying to find the angle on Jonas, but Jonas is already straight away.
He has been effective in the past here at taking this particular site and doing a good job pushing them off here, but they are still wanting to contest him a little bit. No, it looks like they actually dropped. However, we are going to see whether or not Necrox decides what hatch to use his other exothermic charge on, as of course he's going to save one for the CCTV server wall, I would imagine, especially considering they have the Blackbeard. Although that could mean he goes for opening both walls to give Blackbeard better line of sight.
All right, Necrox keeping his drone alive, as we talked about it multiple times. Drone economy definitely hurts at the end of the round when you don't have enough intel on your opponents and no one on your team has a drone. You have to go in blind, not a position you want to put yourself in. And this is why you bring the Cav with the Spas 15, similar to why you bring the Ella, which are both in play here. One holds the stairs and the server stairs, and the other one will hold on to the main stairs, going all the way down as NVK will try to contest. The Gzmot mine is spotted and taken down, using that as bait for G2.
Well, that is one thermite charge used now on the hatch inside the admin office, so we know where the other one's most likely going to go unless they have another plan. No, surprisingly, going to use it both on hatches. Instead, they're just going to push through the doorway. That is a risky play with obviously a smoke as well as at least 2 C4s, maybe even some impact nades, so you're going to have a bit to fight against here.
Yeah, but since G2 know that there's no Echo or Maestro available, they don't really have to deal with too much, and knowing as well that there's no Pulse. There's a couple C4s available, which can be baited out, but can also rush the operators themselves once you're pinching in around the site. It all hinges on Kanta, Raketti, and Jonas being able to slow down their opponents before they get too deep on the site. And for EG, using Young to hold the angles. This Canadian here drones him in. I'll try to use his mines here to chuck them into the site. This bush should be starting up very soon. There you go. First smoke canister will get used. Necrox coming in. Be planting in the back. In the meantime, Jonas goes in for the spray, and MVK will go down. That's Goga being lost by Young, holding the angle. Extra gas canister shot in the back as Jonas again, the second kill. One more up top. He finds him. Pengu gets the kill on Necrox. Interrogation! What going happening? Cough him up, Jonas. There you go. All are spotted at BC. And Claymore kill on Fabian. We've seen it all, and it's literally round number 2 in the grand final. Young in, the Fuser spotted, and will get taken down. G2, what a beautiful retake from the EU team.
Cool. What a play by him, getting away with 2 Spas 2 kills, a pistol down, and the interrogate. That is definitely gonna hurt.
You thought this was a show match? Yeah. Nah, this is it. This is for all the marbles. And by God, both teams are giving it all.
Definitely some marbles on Eunice there. Boy, well, open area surprisingly going to be the third, not going to go with Tellers. So, again, a brave, bold move. We did see it work yesterday at least once, and it's been interesting as a defensive site slowly developing into more of an interesting one, although sometimes it depends on a bit more aggressive plays outside of it. And Kanto going to be the one to do that on Vigil, surprisingly not on Doc or any other ACOG operators, but still going to be very effective on Vigil, I can imagine, as he is a very good roamer and good at playing against some different angles. And this should be an interesting defensive setup as well. They're not going to go with Castle, so it's going to be a bit more, maybe some wood barricades, but also a lot of playing around the site, playing smart angles. Young, again, going to sneak in with 6-pick and going back to the Montaigne.
Now here, because the Habana is not available, you got to be careful with where you use your exothermic charges. Usually it's the one hatch upstairs by trading office, and then the second one on the wall to lead into the kitchen. That's your usual position when you're setting up your thermites here. Now BC is going to be an important part as well to use the hatches to his to his side, using it to block out any mirror windows that are set up and send his firebolts raining down into his opponents. Fabian setting up here his mirror window, and will he actually go for the half and half? He'll try to go for it, and I believe it did connect. It should be a 50-50, and no, it's just a standard one, so there we go. He'll forgo the 50-50 crouch mirror window, which is a possibility, and he'll use it to lock things into the open area office where Archives, probably Kenta Raketti here, setting up on the Vigil. There's potential play from G2 with the roam they need to make sure EG don't get too comfortable with an all-out frontal assault, because that Montaigne is going to be so difficult to deal with.
Well, the important thing is NVK here on Thatcher means they can open that wall, because there's not going to be any bandit tricking. We're going to see from Eunice as he puts down those 4 batteries, and then he's going to play more of a roam role. He's probably going to be running those iron sights again, I imagine, as well. He's been very effective on it, so he's not there. He's not going to be playing on sight. So all they've got to do is Thatcher that wall, open it up, and then Monty can walk in and create a lot of pressure. But Archives flank is going to be a big deal. They need to get Cantu and Pengu out of the Archives and Tellers area, or it's just they're not going to be able to do any walking in. Monty will get flanked, Thermite will get flanked. Going to be a problem, so they're going to have to do a lot of clear of the roam to even pressure the site, and that is what G2 is counting on.
In the meantime, EG continuing their drone play, scouting things out. They will spot the bandit holding the stairs. There you go, that is all they need. MVK trying to set up an angle here to contest Jonas. Jonas knowing what's going on and will fall back. Very smart from Jonas, not overexposing himself, but EG, what they're looking for is at least forcing G2 to get on the site. Once everybody there, an execution from the attacking side is much easier to pull off. And spot a camera on the side. Pengu's first cam will get taken down. NVK dropped very low here on health. Jonas will fall back down to the basement.
A good read by Eunice, knowing that once that camera went down, he was going to peek that. And there, speaking of peaks, unfortunately the timing not there for Kanto. Now he's going to start to get heavily pressured.
Oh, Canadian trying to go for the kill here in the back as Pengu is still alive. Kenta Raketti with one onto BC. And there we go. Can he get it? Yes, he can. That's Canadian on a Pengu. Kanto trying to deal with the shield of the Montagne. This comes into the side. NVK with support from the back. Kenta Raketti will go down. Sloppy here for G2. Oh, they're trying to push away EG. We told you guys about how difficult the Monty can be. There you go. You've got the perfect example of it. Trying to deal as well with the hatch having been opened by the Thermite. Fabian coming in with the Nitro Cell, chucking it all the way to the back as there's nobody on call. Monty in the meantime in the Archives.
Well, it's definitely going to be back to defending the site here as Eunice is going to come back, but start to go for a little bit of a flank to make it work in the first place. But Necrex is low on health, so he can't even go to try and open those walls if he wanted to. He has the 1 extra thermic charge, but might end up just using it for hatches at this point. They, of course, have been able to open the window from this angle, so a lot of angle pressure, but a lot of low health attackers as well. Means they're going to have to play time smart here.
Now, because Jonas is still alive, EG cannot push to the site. Canadian will get one, but Jonas will refrag on NVK, giving the advantage here for G2 as Jonas gets the last one, the flank in the back. Our finished player from Gamers 2 will win things out. That's EG in the round 2 of the Monty.
That Monty seems to be unstoppable. We have yet to see him die. He's played it 2 rounds and lived through all of it. So Young, of course, the OG Shield player, has not dropped a single bit of skill playing on it. It has been very fantastic to see. However, I got to imagine G2 are going to make some adjustments for that to be less of a problem in the future, but this, of course, the adjustment going to CEO this time.
I love the fact that they used the crossbow bolt from the Capitao at the same time to force Kenta Raketti on the Vigil inside the Teller's office, and then the shield on the opposite end to bait him in, keep him inside for them to secure the kill. EG, fantastic team play and timing from them in this round to clear out the roamers. Well, it was a bit complicated to deal with Jonas, but it worked out. At the end, the shield is still working so well on the attacking side.
Absolutely. It is just, it's keeping them 100% focused, either trapped in a room or focused on trying to get that kill. They need something else to be able to take him out, and he seems to be just playing it perfectly, or like you said, around the team coordination. So they're getting those kills. You saw MBK get that nice shot in the back last time as well. So we'll see if they can pull it off this time without the Monty, as they're going to go for an attack on the first bomb site that they attacked successfully, but that was with the Monty. This time Young going to try the Blackbeard again. So we'll see if they're going to let them open it up as easily as well. We didn't see Pengu really try and do much to stop it last time. Instead, wanted to fight it, and that didn't really go in his favor. So we might see him set up for that. But the fact that none of the top has been opened so far on those makes me think he is not terribly interested in it just yet.
Pengu will clamp down on the first, and actually all 3 of his armor panels are going to get used onto the entryways. So G2 want to make sure they do not get flanked at all. And that's going to be pretty interesting. And they even set up a camera here in the back.
They've been doing this a lot. This has become a thing that we've seen a lot, at least multiple teams doing here, is setting up that bulletproof camera, get a lot of nice view of the lobby, see if it pays off in terms of making sure that they're able to guard that flank. But they're going to, of course, take stock, just like last time, and take control of this square skylight lobby to be able to open up the wall by Necrox. Shouldn't be very difficult to do. And again, they don't have a bandit or a mute to stop the wall from being opened outside of Pengu throwing impact nades. So it is all on Necrox to time things well. They also, of course, have NVK to clear out any gadgets that would be there. But in this case, should be much easier for him to be able to focus elsewhere. It looks like they do have the top open this time, though, so they might actually be going to stop it. One can hope, but Pengu's actually in janitor closet at the moment.
Yeah, he has a rotation hole in the back as Necrox is waiting. He has no drone information just yet, and they're looking to possibly pounce on Necrox. There's still the default camera alive in the skylight. I'm not sure why it's not been killed, but still BC finding the first kill on Jonas. Valkyrie being eliminated, and no extra bit of C4 available here. The second one for Young, finding Goga, taking him out. Peak of the SR-25. Big advantage here for EG, as only BC on the squad has taken damage.
Well, it is important that he managed to live for a while, but I think once Young starts to get into good pressure position here, we might see even more of these defenders fall. However, his shield taken down. That's going to be a big problem for him to rotate back.
Young somehow still alive on the Blackbeard, but only 1 bullet will be more than enough. Kanto Raketti moving up close and doesn't go for the spray, just spots the side of Young and will take him out. There's both mines being chucked into the janitor area as Necrox has already opened up the side wall. NVK with 1 more to turn it into a 4v2, but Necrox will fall to Pengu on the peak. Kanto Raketti with another one on NVK. The castle barricades working so well here for Gamers 2. They tie it 2-2. In terms of players, can they get the round to tie it in total on the scoreboard? BC has taken a considerable amount of damage again early on in the round, and the diffuser is dropped outside. They can pick it up. There's not much time left on the clock as G2 are just falling back. They're waiting for information. And Kanto Raketti finds the head. BC take it out. All up to Big Bad Canadian. Can he huff and puff against G2? Try to find the angle on Pengu, but Pengu just escapes. They're playing the mind games. Try to keep the advantage in their hands. Barbed wire will get taken down. 12 seconds left on the clock. He moves in. He got the spot on Pengu. Takes him out. 1v1 against Kanto Raketti. With 5 seconds on the clock, Kanto realizes he's got full advantage. And will have to go for the plant. Canadian, no time left. He gets the spray on the side and can't find the kill. G2 take round number 4 to tie it. 2-2.
I love that it was the battle of the MVPs from yesterday. Unfortunately for them, it was 2 against 1 in the end. And fantastic play by Kanto, especially give him an ACOG. That man is such a beast. It is just those long angles of CEO just work out so well when you open them up right for a player like Kanto. So it's so hard to fight. Lockers again, though. They're going to try this one last time for their 5th defensive round here from G2. See if they can defend it a little bit better this time.
Yeah, one point is that G2's Kanto Raketti, up to yesterday, at the end of the day, has had a 4.2 kill-death ratio with 5 opening kill rounds and 1.24 kills per round. This is an impressive player by all means necessary, and not just because of the frags, but the fact that he realizes time is on his side. And again, remind you, if you didn't know just yet, time is your biggest asset. It is one of the most important resources, if not the most important resource for the attackers. Defense as well has to keep track of it just in case.
Eunice right there at the top of the board, 7 kills for his team. He's not going to be going with the Cav this time, but he's going to be bringing the Vigil, so he's still going to be playing that sneaky little roam. It definitely made a huge difference from last time. Got to imagine that EG maybe not going to fall for that flank the same way, but he seems to be on top of his movement and positioning, so it's going to be very hard to counter.
All right, Pengu this time here on the Valkyrie. as it was Jonas in the previous round. We'll see a much more standard defense in the basement. One out in time by G2. Well, mind you, this is the round where Caveira was pulled out to help with Kenta Racketti's Ella Rome. And this time Jonas running the bulletproof camera on the Vigil. So no access to impact grenades to help with the rotation. Is the Vigil just going to be playing by the stairs, possibly? I wonder here where he's going to set up the last camera. Now, because Echo is banned, you can't really have him hold on to the garage all the time. There you go, bulletproof camera will be set on the site. This is usually a position we'll see attackers opening up the hatch and then immediately opening fire on anything that might be hidden around the TVs. And this time, that camera should be very easy to spot for EG.
I do kind of wonder if Eunice might have accidentally left that bulletproof camera setting on and meant to go with the vac grenades because he's playing such a roam role. I also think maybe EG might want to consider a Jackal because of how much of a problem Eunice has been with his ability to move around. I mean, they are able to drone him occasionally, but they can't win those pre-fires either.
The thing is that it's not, there we go, Jonas will get the first one on NVK. Thatcher eliminated. And the problem is, it's not being able to track where Jonas is. It's because they know where he is in the basement, always moving around. But being able to find the time to take him out, he is literally the elusive man. They cannot get a constant beat on him to finally take him out. And time again, he's come back to haunt them in the end of the round where time management is so precious.
Well, he's definitely made that stairwell his domain round after round, and if they cannot get him out of there, they're not going to have really any solid map control. They have used one of those exothermic charges, may go for the square skylight lobby hatch yet again over the servers instead of trying to get the wall, but that didn't really work out too great for them last time. So that is a, oh wow, Young.
Finding the shot by the sewers, Pengu will go down to the SR-25. Advantage for G2 still. It's Young, slow on health. Meantime, EG will come in. And using Necrox on the Thermite will open up the sidewall. That is no more exothermic charge. No hard destruction available. G2 to set in the back behind their mirror windows that they can still use. Now, no pulse is played in here, so they can't just keep tabs on how things are being played by EG on the push. Kenta Racketti still firing in. He actually downs Young in the back. As a grenade gets thrown in tandem with the Zofia. And BC to take out Kenta Racketti as Young will get picked up to 50% health.
Still a C4 left though, and plenty of good play here to come out from these, but there goes the plan.
And Necrox going in for the plan as the top is being watched, but the gas canisters are slowing him down. There's 30 seconds on the clock, which is perfect for EG. They've got the advantage in this one. Goga worrying about a potential play from the hatch. Very possible here. C4 just being ripped open to force players back as Young will get one on units. It's time for EG to come in. C4 being played. They can't get the kill though. BC will get shot down. The diffuser's been dropped as EG will attempt the plant, but Goga comes in. He finds the back. He takes him down. Fabian with one and Goga with the double. What? The ITA played perfectly. The shield is on the floor. And all he needed is to go for the finisher. Because they know the Blackbeard was low on health. What better than a shotgun to deal with a Blackbeard shield? How many times have we mentioned it?
Yeah, this is just, that Blackbeard shield is phenomenal, and which is why so many teams do consider banning it. Of course, you've got Glaz and Lion to deal with as well. So because of that, I think if they had 3 bans, we'd see Blackbeard banned a bit more often. Rogue seem to be the ones who dislike it the most, but it is very, very effective. And now G2 still a point up, but the round switches. And we will see now if EG can defend and maybe get some of those points back. Because I feel like both these teams have very solid defenses overall and tend to win a lot more of their defensive rounds on map than others. But it varies map to map. And of course, we will potentially have 5 maps as well as potentially infinite overtime. And I feel like we might even get a taste of that infinite overtime on this first map already.
Yep. 3 rounds being taken on the defense by G2. Nothing really out of the ordinary, but the way that they have been won is that you cannot count G2 out. They'll start off with a great opener from Jonas, and after that, you lose a player or 2. But because they're still set on the site, they're always able to find a way to claw things back. It's the communication, giving information back to the players. Then you saw there at the end, Mira being played by Goga, moving up and dealing with the Thermite and with the Blackbeard on their own, knowing that Young has his sights trailed on the hallway.
Well, let's see this time if Fabian could do an excellent time on that glass. He has been pretty good on it lately. Not necessarily finding a ton of kills, but always putting a ton of pressure on the team is the big thing. And then Kanto is going to pick up that Jackal, a very well-known operator for this map. And that might actually work against Canadian, who's going to be playing that Pulse. Probably not going to be playing much of a roam, but you will know where he is playing at. And of course, catch him there, assuming he has left some footprints around, which I imagine he has.
Now, the thing is, the Mira had set things up in a different way compared to what we saw G2 playing here. EG playing it directly in the red hallway, which is a standard way of doing it. You can also play it all the way in the back, using the momentum-based throws, basically for C4, for gas canisters from the smoke, to chuck those bits of equipment all the way to the front doorway, looking into the CCTV area. Kanto Raketti looking for a scan, and there you go, using that 8-meter range. Will spot the Mira, and not gonna be too effective for G2 early on. Jonas gets off the angle the instant see the movement from EG.
Well, we'll see if that comes back to bite him later, but he is going to be, in the meantime, at least on the very top floor, trying to clear things out for his teammates. Fabian also going to be droning that middle floor to get some idea where they could push in from. Hopefully he is smartly droned around to be able to entry. Looks like he might actually go for either the sewers or repel. Looking like sewers so far to come around through with Pangu for a push onto servers.
In the meantime, Kanto Raketti trying to scan anything else. He won't find anything just yet. Dives down into the skylight stairwell. Here they have Goga on the thermite. So use him to open things up here in the stairwell if need be. Kanto Raketti moving in very slowly, as there is obviously the option of just keeping the hatch reinforced, which works very well. You don't really have to worry about any late game roam from your opponents. Opening up this very first hatch plus the sidewall will be the strategy that G2 will employ in this time. We'll also have the Zofia in the back, using Fabian on the glass in the server room to look all the way down, try to deal the Mira and potentially the Pulse in Vault.
I love that Eunice is playing against the same role that he usually plays on those stairs against Young. So let's see if Young can outsmart the man who usually makes these stairs his domain. He is going to use a lot of those lifelines to put pressure on, if nothing else, distract. But BC with the C4 well-timed on Goga.
No, Goga here just falling down to BC. Fabian in on the glass. The glass has to go for the plant. Unfortunately for G2, gas canister thrown in, but Fabian should be able to get it done. No, the diffuser will get dropped. Necrox finishes off Fabian. In the meantime, the Zofia of Jonas is upstairs. Miscommunication by G2. And still need to watch the entryway. G2 and Jonas on the hallway watch. He spots the Mira peeking in as Kanto Raketti will finish one off. 12 seconds left. And Jonas coming off the ADS is worried about opponents pushing him from outside of the open area. Gets shot from the side. Young with a pre-fire. Kanto Raketti holding the back. He'll find the angle on BC, but advantage on G2. Kanto Raketti with one more. Diffusers on the floor. And now all they have to do is hold on. Pengu gets the spot, but the Claymore is available. Kanto Raketti going in for the quick peeks to the ACOG as Pengu pre-firing away. The Ella has the advantage in close quarters fights. But the AR-33 does not have enough ammo to deal with it. Pengu will win it. Kanto Raketti with the second. G2 will take the first round on the attack. They claw things back yet again. Devastating here for Evil Geniuses.
If you're going to leave two people alive in your EG, you better not make it those two. Pangu and Kanto are just monsters by themselves. Put those two together and whew, it is unfortunate for EG in what looked like a great stop of that plant. They stopped the thermite first, killed Fabian right after with the smoke. They took out two people trying to set the little briefcase down and still were unable to win that match. Tactical pause coming out from EG as they wonder what they can do to stop the bleeding here.
Important part is that once that push was happening and the advantage was in the way that of EG, Jonas in that position was still holding the angle from the open area office. Once that is secured, then the plant can possibly come down, and they had Kanto Raketti in the back holding the angle whilst Pengu went for the plant. The instant that was done, because in the meantime EG were rotating around trying to find kills on their opponents, they're able to set it in and then hold the stairs and hold on to the sewer entrance. Again, all up to Kanto Raketti there as he finds kill after kill after kill. And BC just juggling in the back, going for quick peeks. Kanto punishing NVK and the subsequent squad. as they went in. And that was a beautiful bit of pre-fire from Young to shut down Jonas the round. Kanto Raketti maneuvering in to hold on. But that was round number 6. Advantage 4-2 in hands of G2. So now head into round 7. Again, EG on the defense, and they'll go yet again to the basement. It worked out perfectly for them in the round. There were 10 seconds left, and unfortunately, that's apparently all that G2 needed.
Yeah. I think it's important to note as well that if you look at the score lines from these two teams, while this was EG's map pick, G2 have been more dominant on a 6-1 and a 6-2 for them in their matches on Bank, whereas EG pulled off 6-4s both times. So it is one that they have struggled to come out on top, where they end up in situations where they almost go to overtime. So they're going to have to come back. They did at least have that tactical timeout to really rethink what they're doing wrong here. But in this case, I think it's just not killing Kanto is what they're doing wrong.
And unfortunately, when you have 2 star players like Jonas and Kanto on the team, Jonas, at least, he got taken out at the end, but the amount of time that he wasted for EG on that retake just put so much of their effort into the hold on open area.
It was smart that he didn't over-push it as well, because he could have easily gotten into a gunfight on the stairs that he might have lost.
Those 5 seconds that he wasted in the back, just holding in and waiting until the Ela pushed him, might have just been the thing that won the whole round for G2. Every single second matters when you're playing at the highest level, professional Rainbow Six.
Well, absolutely, because you saw how they had to push on Kanto. The Pulse had to push him at the very end, and that is due to time, because that defuse was planted.
Now G2 coming in, realizing that all the hatches have been pre-opened by EG, so those can be used up. Pengu going for the IQ. Bringing breaching charges in. We've seen him on the Habana in this position yesterday in their very first match of the day, the only one against Team Secret. Now he'll come in again with the IQ continuing to drone. They'll have a cross angle, using the IQ to shut down rotations from the hallway instead of focusing much more on the hatch upstairs. That is the big change that G2 were doing compared to having just Jonas holding the hatches and then being open and exposed to potential back push from EG.
The fact that Kanto got the track onto Pulse is really making a huge difference here, because you see both Eunice and Kanto safer, or I'm sorry, and Pengu safer in their approach because they know that Pulse is sitting right there. Because of that, that's all the information they need. C4 unfortunately misses as well, but does a lot of damage in downing him. They don't know that to finish him off, though, and Pengu's going to cover his cross to keep him alive if he can win this fight, and he does!
Pengu, nicely done, and Jonas in the meantime, he'll pick himself back up. Of course, he's running the Polish operator Zofia, and he will just himself back up. Kanto Raketti with one, Young with a refrag, but Goga refragging again on the Thermite. The diffuser is in his hand. Pengu is full health versus the 2 players from EG. In the meantime, Goga will open up the wall. He's the only one holding the diffuser with both of his teammates away from him. So, gotta be careful with G2 in the meantime holding rotations. That'll be the IQ falling back, and Jonas getting the shot on Necrox. 1v3 as Jonas delaying things for EG, making sure he doesn't push into the lockers, leaving BC to wonder, but BC gets one Pengu! Rotating back, getting the information from the Zofia just in time. The position of the Mira. They'll get the final shot as the Mira of BC jumps back into the lockers. Round 8, starting off with map point for G2. The crowd chanting for EG. I think at this point, they'd like to see a new champion.
Yeah, they need the energy right now because they are really starting off on their map pick, not nearly as strong as one would have expected, but G2, they don't seem to have lost any strength from the weekend. They are pacing themselves very well to destroy team after team, and this is quite the match between these two.
It's a mix. The crowd is half and half, and 6 Invitational very much one-sided to the side of EG this time around. In Europe, at least we'll have an equilibrium, I guess, between our 2 grand finalist squads. Well, for now, advantage heavily in the side of G2, 5-2, with them being on the attack yet again. Map point in this best of 5. EG can definitely bring it back and take it to overtime, where you'll need 2-round lead. So you need to keep on going, and it does go on forever in overtime until one team wins those 2 rounds in a row.
Well, it should be especially an interesting round because we saw 2 6 picks, 2 operators that should be interesting choices. Kanto going over to Ash, something he plays very well, and then Canadian going from post to Rook. Now, it has been said sometimes that when you see the Rook-Doc combo from EG, you know they're tilted, you know they're in a position of desperation, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it does make me worry for this round. Can Canadian pull it off? This is the first time we're seeing them defend this bomb site. There is a good reason to have advantage of those long angles, both from defending upstairs in the CEO office area, as well as playing on tellers if you want to be able to peek out into that lobby. So those ACOGs could work out for them, but of course, they're going to have to face off against the Glaz as well. Fabian still playing that role. This is going to be a tough one for EG to pull off. They're going to have to land their shots very well, and potentially even use a little bit of dock healing from NVK to keep themselves in tip-top shape. We'll see if they can pull it off.
Pengu using his teammate as well in the back to help him open up the windows from the plaza. Fabian, in the meantime, on the parking, just trying to find the angle. They want to make sure they clear out any roamers that are set on the top stairs as they see the castle barricade. And of course, taking control of the top floor is extremely important for the attacking side here with G2. Once you have that done, then you can open up the entire floor. Destruction, of course, a huge part of Siege, especially in its competitive professional level. Right, there we go, just evading here the drone plays, and finally, Canadian will be able to take down Fabian's drone, but it rotates back into open area. Once you open up the floorboards, you can shoot at your opponents that are playing in Tellers and Archives. Having the Glaz being able to rotate very easily as well from the top of the parking back into the bank main hallway. Very important thing to have. Kanto Raketti as well, joining in from the side. Right now, G2 are taking their time.
Well, they are at least getting some positioning, but it's not doing a whole lot for them as they're not able to capitalize it. The one person they caught off guard in the lobby was Canadian. He moved out of range of Fabian, so they're just trying to set up positions now, set up angles, and there's a nice set of shots, but not landing to a kill there. Necroc's on the a little bit low of health, and that is a problem for the smoke when time management here is going to work in their favor if they can continue to delay.
Especially the fact that the intro is here, just pretty much these small doorways. There's nobody playing in the back of Archives just for now. EG are mostly playing on the outside. Kanto Raketti to open up the side walls. They realize that open area is the main part of this defense. The office here is opened up as well. But since the opportunity is available, Goga will go in for the plant. As is tradition, the wall will get opened up even further here by EG, but Necrox going down to Kanto Raketti. Goga coming in and spots the side of the castle. Fabian with one more on a Canadian. BC going down. MVK on his own, down on the dock. Will have to retake against the Ash. He finds the kill on Kanto. Does have the stim pistol to boost himself up as he finds the back of the head of Fabian, but no! G2 will down EG as map number 1 with a 6-2 scoreline will go the way of our European squad of G2 Esports.
That may have been bit back and forth on defense for G2, but flawless 3 rounds of attack, all won for G2, and that puts them in the driver's seat now. Last time these guys faced off, we saw EG take the first 2 maps, and then G2 claw their way back to a victory. So far, this is starting off much worse here against EG. And Kanto and Eunice this time really showing up. It's not just Pengu as well. This whole team just on fire all week, still going into the weekend. What can't they do at this point?
At this point, that is the big question. And this capacity crowd is definitely loving every single second of it. You see, in the meantime, both teams will be talking to their respective coaches and making sure that information is being sent in to reset mentally and physically before the second map starts up. EG on comms with Bacon. In the meantime as well, Shas. We've seen that documentary that was was made. I was watching it with Pengu, and let's just say it almost brought us to tears. We're kind of trying to man up here and not really get anything out, but yeah, that was pretty heartwarming to say the least. And their G2's first map victory definitely puts things in their favor. Now, map number 2 though, Consulate.
This is what I'm excited about, is because they've been banning Consulate all season. G2 have been not wanting to show anything, and there was always the debate. They constantly will say, we're just bad at Consulate. We don't want to play it because we're bad at it. And we know from G2, especially from Villa, that is bait if I've ever heard it. They've been banning it for a reason. They did not want to show anything, and they were saving it for their big card here. Now, they've shown pretty much every other map for the most part. This is really where no intel going to be coming out for EG. They have no idea what they're up against, and G2 are a team that will not repeat their strats. Whatever they do, EG are going to have to adapt every single round.
Jonas on the cav there. It was saved by Pengu and still got the interrogation at the end.
Wow.
G2's rounds were very much based around their shield play of the Monty, and it was played perfectly until G2 played for time, and they played it so well. The best thing about G2's play is how reactive they are to EG. And here is EG after losing that first half seemed a bit flustered and couldn't really bring things back home. Jonas is still able to get the kill there on the smoke. Did not really help EG in their role, and playing from outside of the site when you're defending Tellers and Archives does not work out. You lost the entirety of the top floor. There's nobody to anchor on the site, and once G2 realizes that, they're just going to run in and get a plant ASAP. This is something that has definitely been fixed from the last time these two giants of Siege had played against one another at 6 Invitational and even in Atlantic City. And that stairs on bank was used so many times. Just blow out the lower part of it, leave it soft, and have an ACOG holding down from the stairs.
Yeah, it definitely will be interesting to see, though, how things go down. If there's any real difference here in terms of the roam game on Consulate, because it's a bit of a different map. Both of them have a lot of roam play available, a lot of different spaces to play in and around, and trying to box out roamers here could be very difficult, as well as the spawn peaks being an issue. So we'll see how the bans go down. We could see, for example, a Valkyrie ban here is a big one.
All right, map 2 loading on in. Ladies and gentlemen, EGG2, 1-0. Advantage for G2 Esports. We head into Consulate to the Ivory Coast. See who can take this one. G2 in the lead yet again, as this time it's EG starting off on the ban phase. I'll be banning the very first attacker.
Last time it was Ying, so
Ying Glass a big potential here for the ban, and
oh.
IQ. Oh,
that means they want those cameras, assuming that doesn't get banned as well.
Will G2 ban the Valkyrie on defense regardless? But we'll see Lion being banned out here. That is an auto ban
Probably.
for G2.
There you go.
You remember their game against Team Liquid on this very same map at the Season 7 finals in Atlantic City. It was a big part of their loss, at least for them. And G2 will go for the second ban, and Valkyrie makes a ton of sense. You want to ban the IQ, that's fine. We'll make sure you can't utilize that to your big advantage.
That makes me wonder, though, will Echo get stuck here? Because that is the other counter from IQ that you have to worry about. If not, then Vigil and Pulse will be even more safe either way. So this is going to be interesting. We could see a Pulse, though we do see it sometimes as well. Echo and Maestro also big candidates. A lot of variables here at play, especially since G2 hadn't shown anything previously. But there we go. So that means
Echo Maestro are going to be used. So
yeah,
it's very possible that we'll see yet again the Thick Boys lineup of the Smoke plus the Maestro plus the Echo. All three operators being able to anchor on the site very effectively and efficiently, and hold off attacks that might be a bit too complicated to deal with any softer of a lineup.
Yeah. And to remind you, this is the map that EG picked yesterday and didn't do so great on. They really struggled on this map. It was a 1-6. They were only able to get one round on it. As you heard Canadian on stage, they were a little bit embarrassed by how they played it, and of course G2 looking to capitalize on that on their map pick. Again, with the strategies that EG have yet to see. I mean, they were going to be saving strategies anyways, but the fact that they haven't shown this map at all, not the entire season, not during any of the group stages, not during any of the semis or quarters, this is the reveal, so to speak.
This is a plan that has been prepared for since the Season 7 Grand Finals. For 3 months, G2 have been orchestrating this hold, and now finally we get to see them playing on Consulate, a map that they would only ever drop in the past. They played against their old EU rivals of NC Sports. Here, none of that available. We'll see how EG play against it as BC going for the Maestro and reinforcing in the half wall. So very standard from EG, nothing out of the ordinary. NVK putting up his castle barricade. No Mira being played here, so there won't be a huge hold on admin, at least that's the usual. But no, they even reinforced the wall with no Mira in. It's gonna be pretty interesting.
Well, obviously they were used to banning Mira on the side anyway, so none of their strats really depended on having that. So that wasn't a big deal for them to ban yet again. This is good though for EG starting off on the defense, because this is where they get more control and they don't have to worry as much about what G2 strategies are, because attack strategies are going to be somewhat fluid anyways. You're not going to be too knowledgeable, and there's only so many entry points on this map. So it's really the defense that's going to be the more interesting part. Obviously, we're going to see some defenses from G2 regardless of how the rounds go, but EG needs to pick up as many rounds as they possibly can during their defense when they might have some advantage, because they're going to potentially lose some rounds trying to feel out G2's defenses.
All right, Fabian in on the drone, on the Jackal. Of course, they want to make sure EG are not playing way too much on their own play. Of course, we've seen what the Pulse from Canadian can do on this map, just moving around, being able to break back down onto the basement with the help of his teammates, and even solo, to disrupt his opponents and at least play for time, but they'll spot out the Pulse, and Canadian will be forced back to rotate in from the opposite end of the map.
Knowing Canadian, he's going to try and use that as bait. He's going to use it against the butt. Necrox, the one to utilize that bait the most, and there goes the Jackal.
Now his information being pulled in from Canadian, and off of that, Necrox is able to peek in for the kill. Go in, Necrox again with the kill onto Kanto Raketti. He knows that there is still the Capitao upstairs by the skylight from Jonas. Have to fall back. Advantage clearly in the side of EG in this round. Skoga, at least they'll have Hard Breacher to play with here. G2 finally push in from admin. I've said it once, I'll say it again. Pushing up the yellow stairs when you don't have information, constant information on what's going on around it, is not something that is viable whatsoever.
Well, it definitely doesn't seem like they have anyone left to drone for them manpower-wise. They're all on their guns, hoping to find some frags, but BC denies it.
Peeks in onto Goga. Jonas finally rotating into the admin office. Now Maestro on the quick peek. Jonas unsure of where his opponents are as the Fuser is locked down on the floor. So all that G2 have to do are pick it up right in the line of sight of their opponents, and that's a lot of work for G2 to do. Now they'll start things off with Smoke being finally eliminated here. No more Young. Pengu on the site as Jonas in the meantime using his crossbow bolts. Canadian will get one kill on a G2. Taking down Pengu. One last alive as Jonas gets sprayed. NVK on the castle. We'll take round number 1 up for EG. On the defense, similar start to what we saw on map number 1 here from EG.
Definitely credit to Necrox starting things off with that 2K on the yellow stairs. Very well played. Pretty much baiting the fact that they were distracted a little bit by Canadian on the ping, hoping to catch him. And a great start for them, but they're going to have to try and do the same here in lobby. Of course, once it gets down to this, well, after this round, if they do succeed again, it's going to be predictable. They're going to be going down to Garage. However, they are going to go with double Hard Breachers anyways, just in case the secondary side is Garage. Now, last time they had 6th pick, their only Hard Breacher. They are going to go again with the same lineup from Kanto, Eunice, and Fabian, in the sense that they're going to be playing that Jackal, Capitao, and Ash. Now, it did surprise me to see Pengu to be on the Sophia last time. We've seen such good play on it from Eunice. Canadian going to sneak in that Pulse pick yet again, because why not, right? He's so good on it. No 6 picks, though, coming out from G2.
A big part of the hold on here in the lobby, the top stairs, but also the bottom floor. You can set up your Pulse in a couple positions where you either in the break room or either by the server stairs, chuck up C4s, take down his opponents, and that's why you see the closet hatch and the main lobby hatch both opened up. Those would be used to great effect by the defense. We're only running 1 stick of C4, but we've seen how many times Canadians able to shut down an entire round just with a well-placed Nitro Cell. And
yep, saw last round.
Yeah, and that was definitely something that you can count for each.
Interesting, though, that they're going to switch up who is playing the Maestro this time. Instead of BC, who's going to be on the Smoke, it's going to be Young, who I can imagine being a very good Maestro as well. But that is a little bit of some role switch-ups. Necrox, though, is going to stick on that Jaeger. He played so well last round. We're going to get NBK on the castle to be able to at least set up some kind of funneling against this attack. And Fabian probably going to find some more footprints again. I'd say he's been an effective Jackal as well. He's been able to catch some footprints. It's just they haven't been able to execute on those on this map so far, but it is only the second round.
Of course, in Consulate now, you only have 3 sites, though. You saw in the map buff a presentation earlier. We'll have a 4th site and a few changes.
Very exciting.
To this map, so I cannot wait to see how things work out on there. G2, though, opening up the hatch and coming down into Archives. You have Goga as well on the Thermite, but they want to pinch in from opposite ends of the site. And they come in from below, try to clear out any play from the Pulse, and indeed, things are clear. Cantor Ricchetti moving in as well, right behind Fabian. Fabian's unsure what's waiting up by the stairs. Canadian upstairs in the admin office, though, should be getting the spot on Fabian. Cheaters falling back.
I have to say, I feel like they're relying a bit more on the Jackal than droning effectively, and I think that could be hurting them on this map. Maybe something that hurts them again this round. They are hoping a lot of pre-fires are working out, but they're not necessarily. Pengu, though, still the only one to get a kill last round. Gonna make it a 2-fer this time. BC going down.
BC will get shot down here, as you say, Devin. But Goga using the reinforced wall on his side to his advantage. Now there's C4s available up top. Should be Canadian, but he's not been able to maneuver himself in the correct position to deal with Pengu as Cantor Ricchetti will get one. 5v3. Cantor holding off the rotation angle. Intelligent from G2 here. Canadian, though, has the advantage if he wishes to go for a run-out. But things will have to be timed perfectly by EG, as G2 in the meantime have 5 players available. They're even holding off the top balcony, and even below, Fabian and Goga will get one each. Necrox finding the headshot on Cantor Ricchetti, but falling very swiftly to Goga. G2 to tie it 1-1.
What a fantastic execute on the piano room, though. The way that Pengu just took down BC playing in there, they went completely for the plan. What do we got here?
EUNA, oh boy, the old esports rivalry.
I'll pretend I didn't see that.
I'll just ask to bring you some tissues.
Thank you.
Into this one, Devin.
Well,
at least it's Vitality fans that are doing it.
Yeah.
You got to recover somehow in this matchup. Cantor Ricchetti, beautiful bit of play, realizing. I just really like the way that G2 set up their players to cut off rotations from EG. And EG, at the end, they are very calm and collected, but because they've lost the manpower advantage, they can't really deal with any players that are holding angles against them, and because they have to scramble in to rotate back onto site.
Well, I love that. That was the beautiful thing about that execute. Rather than they say, let's drone the whole map, they said, let's take control of the important areas around, kill the one defender in the site itself, plant, and then just execute around that. Have all the rotations cut off, so as they go for retake, they die. And that was a fantastic execution. Now they're, of course, going to know that the third bomb site is Garage, but they don't necessarily know they're going to be picking it because they lost that last bomb site. They have the choice to try and go to lobby again, but playing it safe, once more, they're going to be bringing double hard breachers to try and get this open if necessary. Now, of course, you don't really need a Thatcher or anything like that to be able to take care of this, but Canadian, instead of going on Pulse, he's going to sneak around on that Vigil. And there is, of course, no IQ to track him, so he could get away with it a little bit better. But Jackal going to be his worst enemy.
And that is the case as well. As you mentioned, the IQ is banned, but usually the IQ can also use her scanner to get information of a Vigil that has the ERC activated. Same thing for the Pulse. Now, the big part of this defense as well is that Echo. There's no IQ that can scan it, and that might prove deadly to G2 if they take too long to execute on the site. But I want to see if Fabian will come in from the server side, as we saw in the previous round. Canadian down and taken down.
Pengu.
Beautiful here from G2, using their drones to their advantage. EG losing Canadian early on in the round as Fabian comes in, and those were the footprints of the lowly and now deceased Vigil. And he comes in, the hatches are already pre-opened. That was the area that Vigil was going for to rotate down. Needed in Jonas, making sure he clears those cameras.
Well, so far they've had a pretty good execute, and first in taking out Canadian, but now Young is the one on smoke. BC is going to be playing a bit different role as that bandit to try and hold down in the garage. They're both holding down there pretty securely, and then NBK going to be on the Echo, which he snuck over to on that 6th pick they might not be expecting, and I think that'll be a big differentiator. But knowing them, they might just attack from both sides, attack from the cafeteria as well as the front garage there, and that's going to be a big problem for them. They are opening up an angle down into the garage from the bathrooms, and then Fabian doing the usual Buck-style thing here from above. I love that he's getting all the utility out of this Jackal and making the most of it. Unfortunately, it's going to be a bit to shoot those batteries, but no one's going to try and C4 him.
Goga, in the meantime, opening up the wall as EG will put themselves inside of the site securely, worrying still about Fabian's ITA here. As again, the Buck will definitely be the better operator to blow out an entire floorboard, but having the Jackal gives you the ability to use his shotgun secondary to blow out very specific holes, shooting at your opponent's point.
I love that play by Goga as well, droning for himself there behind the white van to make sure when he goes for the second one, no one's going to be able to peek him.
Well, this time, so used to playing on the drone as Goga will use that as distraction actually to go for the diffuser plant. Kanto Raketti in the meantime, holding off the service stairs. Echo will deny things for just a bit, but gets shot down by Kanto Raketti. Again, holding off the rotation. Young comes in, Pengu going down. BC with a second shot by Jonas to refrag from the yellow stairs. All up to Young. This gas canister is thrown in, the last one in the back pocket of Young. Face against 3 players from G2. Kanto again still holding the top of the stairs. This is Vitality style of play here. Seeing the ACOG to his advantage in this engagement. Young taking damage. Can't find the head just yet. In the meantime, G2 have maneuvered themselves for post-plant positions. Playing from behind the car is Jonas. He gets the kill on Young, and G2 take the round.
I really respect these fast plant attempts from Goga. The fact that he used the explosion there as a distraction, who does that, right? Who opens up the second panel and then immediately goes for a plant?
The mind games, these minute things, that won him an extra few seconds, 4 or 5 seconds to be able to enter in. He did get denied by the Echo, but that's charges that the Echo would have needed for later on. And yet again, EG lose the early game manpower before they can get the ball rolling against G2. And the fact that Kanto was so good on the late round rotate to the back stairs works it so well for the side of Gamers, or G2, in this matchup.
Looks like there was a little bit of confusion about which way to go next, as well as they had originally picked the lobby, switched to console. Makes me think they're trying to figure out what to do here. That shows a little bit of fluster in terms of trying to count us. The Blackbeard coming out from Pengu, something he used to be very, very infamous for playing. He is going to bring it right back out. And then Fabian bringing out the Dokkaebi, deciding, why look for footprints when I can just call you right up?
The SMG-12 is definitely something to keep in the back of your head. It is a pretty darn good SMG secondary to use for the Dokkaebi. But again, Pengu, this is a player that is so used to playing Blackbeard on this map back in the day. EG, though, bringing one of the greatest solutions to deal with that shield. It's Young on the smoke. We saw it in map 1, and with the Mira running out from Goga and getting the kill on the Blackbeard. This time we'll have the smoke, a much more effective shotgun against that shield. Instantly shatters it and killing the Blackbeard, playing from behind it. BC as well on the ACOG with Canadian with his C4 on the pulse. He's been instrumental for EG in the past, but G2 will try to hunt them down. At least here, won't have to worry about a Jackal, but maybe a bigger worry is the Dokkaebi.
Yeah, we'll see if he's able to hide out this time. Last time he got tagged out. Despite his cloaking, doesn't make a difference if they see you right through a window and shoot you down. Now in this case, this is the only bomb site they've won so far, so they're going to go back to it now that they finally can and try it again. But last time I feel like Necrox's kills in the yellow stairs were really pivotal to them winning that round. If they can't have an early success like they did last time, it might be a bit of struggle, and this might be going into the other side with a lot more rounds in favor of G2.
Pengu in the meantime running hollow on his Mark 17. And even the breaching charges, instead of the usual flashbangs when you're playing here, you can use that to your advantage. And he's actually going to set up a breach charge, a very open position for him to be playing in. Usually if you're the Blackbeard, you also need someone to hold off the window from the rotation room on the side.
Great strategy.
So we'll see how this plays out, because this is very easy for EG to just go for a quick round out and deal with. Unfortunately, because there is no Valkyrie available, they won't know that this is the thing in mind for G2.
Just completely unpredictable, and that's what I love about it. I mean, it is a risky thing to pull off, like you said, but if he pulls it off, they're not going to see it coming.
You see the rotation being held off. The smoke will be forced into the site as Young will escape and take no damage. Pengu's fire, Kenta Raketti holding off any potential late round rotates. Very important for EG in this one is that they have not lost any players just yet. Canadian playing in the basement, find an angle on possibly Fabian's Dokkaebi. As the call will come in and Canadian will call it out. Have to fall back for just a second as he turns off his phone, resets it. Kenta Raketti though, holding off all the way. Oh my god, what a long angle. He's playing against BC, the Maestro, playing off the site. Just trying to compete against the ACOG.
Pengu again up here. Unfortunately, cannot win the fight. Young destroys him. The upside down hang just not working out. Fantastic. That bulletproof camera long eagles. Well, Young cannot find a second one, but Necrox does, and that's Goga down.
Yeah, flashbang being chucked in. EG, huge advantage as MVK gets one more. Fabian with the refrag, but Young is still alive. What? BC going in for the kill. Young smashes into G2 as Kenta Raketti will get stopped dead in his tracks by the smoke. Talked about the shotgun. The shotgun is not only effective against the Blackbeard, but is also effective against the Ash. Running in with no time, finds the blast. The 12-gauge double buck shotgun.
Young, easy MVP for that round. The fact that he lived through that much pressure on him was intense. You saw that fight on the replay. What a nutty battle between those two. Young not succumbing to the pressure, just playing very smart, very quick. Fantastic play. He's going to be switching off, though, on that role and giving it back to BC. Now, last time BC tried to play that role, unfortunately didn't work out, but great play by Fabian there, at least taking one down. Just could not close out the round.
We talked about it in the previous round, or right at the start of it. Big part of the attack for G2 is to clear up the very first player, have the entry frag going their way. Unfortunately, it did not work out, and EG immediately pouncing on the opportunity. Fabian switching back to the Jackal, though, to maybe get this round on the board for them, as the Dokkaebi did not work out well for G2. Just the way that EG are able to maneuver around the calls is so intelligent for our North American team, and G2 could not find the entrance. Canadian again on the Vigil. Let's see if things played out.
So we'll see if that works out a little bit better for him. The Pulse just didn't seem to be able to do a whole lot for him last time. Now, I imagine he got some intel to call out for him, but it didn't turn into any direct kills. And I think maybe he's deciding he wants to play a bit more freeform around the map, because, of course, the Pulse is going to be playing a bit more underneath, whereas Vigil is going to be able to roam around a bit more and do potentially some more damage. Now, last time, he just happened to get caught off guard at the wrong place at the wrong time. If he can stay alive a little bit longer this time, it will help. But Fabian, as you mentioned, back on that Jackal will be a problem for him.
We'll see if they can get the track early on the Vigil as moving on. We head into the action phase here as Canadian still playing in the basement. And Fabian, what he did before was opening up the hatch in the visa clearance, and from there able to move down into servers, get the scan, and get the cleanup on the Pulse early on. Can they do this one again? G2 definitely trying open up the windows as he switches in for the ITA. He should be going for the hatch here, as we saw from before, but he needs the drones to help him out and gain information on the whereabouts of its opponents.
Oh no.
Can't hit the position, as already has Kenta Raketti and Thermite behind him here of Goga to drone themselves in and clear out any defenders playing the top floor. NVK will be that one, as Necrox is holding off on the yellow stairs just in case of reinforcements for NVK.
Well, NVK gonna stay in this position for quite a while here in terms of trying to hold it off, but actually is forced to the yellow stairs. So that means Kanto getting a lot more top floor control here, which of course, knowing the way Kanto plays, is gonna work out very well in their favor, assuming he can win any fights that might come to him on the yellow stairs. You do see one Jackal track coming out from Fabian as well. That might even be the Vigil of Canadian, if he was leaving a lot of dirty little footprints around. Goga, though, setting up for any kind of jump outs, as they could go for an execute on Piano once again, if they can clear it out. However, it did look like there might have been two players defending it this time. Seems like a smart adjustment. No, actually, it's just two in Bathroom, and BC again still in Piano.
Kenta Raketti in the hallway behind the desk. It's MVK looking for a peek here. Again, EG able to keep their players alive throughout the majority of the round here, giving them an advantage, at least in their play style. Cantor Ricchetti moving down. See Pengu in, but Fabian will get the first one on the cross. Canadian going down. There you go. Just as I mentioned, we hit this first minute mark, 1 minute mark. Know that it's all in the bathroom. Tactical crossbow will get set for a smoke shot. And Young in the meantime will find one. NVK going in for the kill, but he can't find it. Pengu will get the kill on BC. Necrox for the refrag on Jonas. 3v3 advantage for G2 now as Cantor Ricchetti from below getting the frag of NVK, and Pengu with one more on Young as Necrox is last alive, and G2 realizing what's happening. They even get the track on the Jaeger. Unfortunate here as they spot him a Necrox. Headshot on the Fabian, dives down onto the Ash, and Kanto with the flick. The round to go for G2. This will be the advantage. For our European team, 3-2 against EG on the half. We'll switch things in as EG will now go for the attacking play. Similar fashion of what we saw in map 1, Bank, the crowd cheering on.
Well, 3-2 is not a huge advantage, but we've certainly seen that turn around. G2 the ones to actually take a tactical time out here to think, going into side switch, what have we learned about what we can do against EG? How can we plan this effectively? Shaz, of course, is going to be taking any insights he has. You see him there sharing his notes, making sure the team is fully prepared to sweep 3 more rounds and just take this out to map 3. But of course, EG is going to be doing everything they can to stop it. And hopefully they can at least pull off a few more rounds if they get to map 3 in a 2-0 situation. A lot of strat gonna have to come out here.
Necrox on the flank, just so good for EG. Unfortunately, the angle play from Kanto is always so effective. And we've seen him right there at the end, turning around, taking down the Jaeger as he drops in from the hatch. Necrox, unfortunately, could not turn it into the 1v1 he was looking for. Cantor Ricchetti, an excellent finish player, will turn it for G2.
I love seeing Necrox on Jaeger too, because he was one of the best Jaegers going all the way back to year 1, season 1. He's been fantastic on that role for so long. And speaking of which, there's Young on that Blackbeard again. So this should be good. Canadian on his Zofia, seems like the smart choice has been one of the more effective things. They are going with a lot of strong roles here. Having Necrox has been playing an effective Thermite, and BC, of course, on Buck. This is their playing to their strengths on this attack. They have the ability to open this garage. They have the Thatcher to make it easier and potentially quicker, because Bandit doesn't necessarily need to focus on tricking because, of course, he's going to be worried about the floor being opened up above. They could even just open up the floor and then Thatcher it and not even necessarily try and shoot the batteries from above. So we'll see how they go for the execute on it, though, as Kanto going to be on that sneaky vigil. And we saw how effective the Echo was, at least trying to stall the plant out last time. Mute Jammers as well going to deny some intel on that.
We'll see how BC plays things out, as literally the instant BC locks in a Buck, half the chat needs to change of pants, because we've seen the amount of work that he can do on the op. G2 in the meantime, running Pengu on the mute, and there we go. That is one of the things that you can do in security. Get the vault on.
He's working on it.
It's complicated, but you can get it done. There we go. Pengu to set up his signal disruptors. And a big part of the mute play as well, especially here on the garage, is that you can have one mute jammer shutting down the entirety of the yellow stairs. So no information can be relayed in. It's a very European way of playing, bringing the mute and the bandit in tandem.
Yeah, we'll see if that works out in terms of denying that until you saw even one drone being jammed immediately just before they spawned in. So that is at least one drone that cannot get out of position now to try and save without picking it right back up. But Canadian at least managed to tuck one away under some of the furniture. Going to get some idea whether or not this is safe to at least take out the camera before approaching further. No runouts. I appreciate the caution, but Kanto actually went in a very cheeky little spot, looking for anyone who strays just too far from that entrance, as Canadian just might when he goes back.
And the hatches should be pre-open for him to fall back. Canadian is putting in the sides of the mute jammers. Of course, they do go through floors. Ooh, Goga's Yokai will get sniped in one of the two that are available for the Echo. It's a big loss of utility. The second one in the yellow stairs. In the meantime, BC opening up the wall, or the window, looking to the top bathroom. The Legion is spotted.
Oh,
and he's going to get primed. This is one of the best things that he can possibly play. Gumain's going to get spotted, and Fabian is being pinched in from the opposite end. He'll have to worry about the grenade as he falls back through yellow stairs. He gets the spot, and there you go. NVK runs into the Legion mine, but Kanto Raketti with the refrag on the SMG-12, taking down NVK. Now, they do have both the Thatcher and the Buck here, EG, so losing NVK is not the end of the world. Still, G2, big loss there on the Legion.
Well, at least they're going to have Fabian able to work the cams, and he's going to be doing a lot of work with that, as well as able to watch the Echo drone so that Goga doesn't necessarily need to. That could be a big benefit if he can focus on using the ACOG instead. Those mute jammers actually doing some great work as well. Still stalling out Canadian, who is still at this entrance. He has yet to really be able to push in, and he's going to take his lifelines to do so. But unfortunately, no one there to counter him.
And no one in the bathroom as time is being burned by G2. And again, is your most important resource as a attacker. Young going in for the shot at range against Kanto. He'll land one. Getting pretty low here on health, around 40 HP in. Necrox realizing that the bandit batteries have been not deployed. There's only one mute jammer to close things up. Won't go for his thermite charge just yet. BC will need to take down the floorboards and use that to his advantage. Kanto Raketti looking for potential late rotates. His opponents as he moves back down to the hatch. A lot less time left. Pengu gets one, gets two. There's still one diving from the back as well. Necrox finding the angle on Pengu. There's 4 seconds left. The Blackbeard of Young coming in. Jonas with one onto Necrox. Young with another one, but the defenders win it out. Not enough time as the Blackbeard with no manpower will have to come all the way into the back of the site to play his advantage on the frag play. EG lose out the round. We find ourselves in a similar predicament, 4-2. G2 one round victory away from putting things on map point.
I'm sorry to say this, crowd, but I don't think your chanting and energy is really helping EG out here. They are looking like they could be going quickly to border here the way things are going. So,
NVK. It's so odd to see these early round advantages still go through to EG, and yet still with that mismanaged on the time. Something that EG never really struggled with in the past comes back to bite them.
Some switches coming out here from Pengu and Necrox over to Castle and Habana. So they're going to be changing things up a little bit. Don't really need the Thermite, so that makes a bit more sense to go with the Habana as it's not banned. Looks like they keep changing their mind in terms of loadout. See them 6-pick and then go off the 6-pick for a second to modify the loadout itself. So hopefully that will pay off. Young will still be sticking on the Blackbeard along with Canadian and Zofia, BC on the Buck. So pretty much playing the same things they did last time, except for switching which hard breacher Necrox is going to be using, which makes a bit more sense. On this side, of course, potentially could use that to open up some walls onto the projector, some angles onto the little wall that Fabian's reinforcing right now, which of course they're not going to be able to put a window on, but still, we want to make sure that no one can play in there safely, as well as the bathroom wall potentially to get some angles in there.
Big part of things for EG is that BC's on the Buck, so he can just go directly onto that printer window, and from there, open it up and have his grenades deny anybody playing inside of the cubby. So all of that, everything when it comes to counter utility is available for EG, and they have practiced it very well in the past. Just because of execution in this matchup.
I gotta imagine BC's gonna go for that bathroom again as well, because you saw how effectively he cleared it out last time, and that's most likely to get played on this particular bomb site.
Fabian, in the meantime, on the yellow stairs with BC going all the way up to Skylight. Should be a pretty standard way here of just opening up the soft wall, or at least the top part of it. It is completely soft. In the meantime, Kanto Raketti in admin. SMVK goes up to support BC. They'll get the scout on the wall, and it is its current status, being completely soft. It should be easy pickings for the Buck of BC.
well, they not only have the 2 drones of Goga, but Kanto also set up a bulletproof camera. I like the way that they have all this extra bit of information with Valkyrie Band. They're able to set up a lot of intel for any dead players to contribute as much as possible. And I think that helps on some of these comebacks that they're making. In the meantime, though, they're actually going to play fairly aggressive here. Pengu, but if anyone can make these shots, I believe in Pengu. However, BC is going to be baiting those out as long as possible and force him to actually rotate to the connector. Instead, Young going to be hoping someone wants to peek him. Not likely to happen anytime soon, but BC put a grenade in his hand, and there goes a man shortly after.
Literally the best buck in the world. Find the grenade on the first player, and of all ops, it's the Jaeger, and Necrox will get another. Jonas will get taken down. EG, huge advantage with the first 2 players eliminated from G2. Kanto Raketti have to move back to support his teammate as he sets up to where Pengu was in the connector room. Move into the yellow stairs. Realizes that he can use the SMG-12 to his advantage as Pengu. Set up in the console office, contesting any player playing from the top there. Young, in the meantime, is very calm. He does realize that Pengu will likely come in, but no! Wow. The slight spot on the pixel of BC as Pengu finds the headshot angle. Will be forcing the Blackbeard to push into him, but Young will lose out his first shield. And have to set it up. Pengu, in the meantime, not getting over aggressive. A very smart play as Pengu finds the second Young. Going down, Kanto Raketti spending the entirety of the magazine here on Canadian with the Zofia. As Canadian takes him out. EG keeping the advantage for themselves as Goga comes in with a bearing 9. 2v2, the Echo having taken damage. Still Pengu not peeking the angle against Necrox. Goga holding the backside, NVK going in for the finisher, but Pengu peeks in for NVK. Last in is Necrox. Have to deal with the last 2. Little time left though here for EG as Pengu holds the angle, goes in for the pre-fire, but Necrox wins it out. Goga playing for time, he runs all the way back in the round. Goes for EG. Does not work out for Evil Geniuses in this. G2. Unfortunate yet again. Evil Geniuses on the cusp of taking it. With so little time left, Goga's ingenuity and time management works out perfectly for G2. As he falls back and plays for time. EG looking a bit flustered here as map point on the board. 5-2 currently leading our G2. EG have to focus in. So we can get ready for a potential final round. BC perfectly timed grenade with a 2-man advantage here, Devin.
Wow.
Still, EG unable to get the finisher of the round.
Definitely a tough spot, but again, it comes down to who's left alive. Pengu played so aggressive, but so smart. The restraint, the plays on that Blackbeard, he knew what was going on at all times, and it's just that long-term game sense and intelligence coming out that pays off in spades. Like you talk about, that small pixel was enough to spot BC on that yellow stairs, and it's times like this that I'm glad it's a best of 5.
Oh, yes. We get to see multiple strategies, and this is why potentially G2 have been hiding Consulate for so long.
Yep.
3 months in the making, as finally the strategy gets revealed, and oh boy,
yeah,
definitely a treat to watch. EG have to rally back against this as they are again on the attack. Young bringing the Blackbeard up. So we see NVK on the sledge. This time for going the Thatcher. We'll have extra grenades to play as BC is running the Capitao. An operator we've been seeing a ton of, being able to position your crossbow bolts wherever you want. A big help for the Capitao.
It's too bad, of course, that Capitao doesn't have those grenades any longer, because BC on a Capitao with grenades would be nuts. Kanto's actually gonna, I'm sorry, yeah, Kanto's gonna go back to that dock he's been playing so well. And I worry for anyone trying to peek to wherever he is playing at, because he's going to play some smart long angles. Might even see him go for the spawn peeks. So we've seen him do some potential, I wouldn't say spawn peeks, but definitely some peeks outside from that vigil. Now that he's on the dock as with that ACOG, I got to imagine some longer range shots potentially coming out. And EG might not be expecting them at this point. The fact that they haven't landed any shots, he hasn't had a chance to shoot anyone, means they may not be as expectant. That could be a big problem, especially he's able to take out any of the key players early on, like Young approaching the building, for example. Eunice, though, going to be on the pulse. Should be interesting to see how that works out for them here.
Kanto Raketti possibly looking for a peek early on. He's done it before. Let's be the round where he actually connects. So far, nothing will bite. Beats pulled up by G2.
He's definitely looking for it. This is why you don't give this man an ACOG. It is brutal. I can only imagine if Jaeger still had one as well. But Canadian at least getting his drones off this time. No mute jammer to stop him in here. He may get control of that lobby a little bit faster, although of course that is the bomb site, so I can't imagine they're going to let him sit in there anytime soon. NVK hopefully going to be as effective on the sledge as he has been on some other roles, but Thatcher didn't seem to be getting a lot of kills for him, other than flanks coming out, perhaps. So they're going to need some good teamwork, though, to find some of these initial kills.
NVK, the window diving into the yellow stairs as Fabian will hear the entrance. Tries to find the angle, but Necrox outgunning Fabian with a headshot. ACOG and Habana wins this one out. EG, advantage early on, taking down the Maestro. Those evil eyes cannot be used anymore. A huge boon for EG on the attack.
Definitely unfortunate for Fabian, but again, of course, that just means he's going to be making calls here. Necrox with a, or not Necrox, I'm sorry, Kanto with an excellent peek, and he gets to revive himself back to full health here. So that is unfortunate because the Blackbeard, all he can take away from that is I've done some damage, but Kanto, that's why he plays that dock.
NVK back on the sledge, droning himself in, as needs to land those grenades to possibly push Pengu out of position in the meeting room. You and us, in the meantime, providing support on the pulse, just holding in from the lockers. You can chuck a Z4 up. For now, EG will have to deal with him. They've lost the Blackbeard, so he can't be holding it or holding the angle on the plant late into the round. Not sure if Kanto Raketti spotted the cross here. Will be the angle. Kanto Raketti gets it on NVK. And this is why, as you mentioned early on, Devin, you don't give this man an ACOG. He spots the second, the Habana goes down. Necrox out of play, G2. 4v2. One more for Canadian NBC though. And suddenly the round turns into an equilibrium 2v2. Jonas on the pulse. Pengu with the smoke as BC trying to find the angle on the Capitao against the smoke playing on the top stairs. Can he get him? Still the pulse of Jonas.
Well, they do have the advantage, of course. While he may be playing below, he's not playing on the site. If they can stick this plant down here and he can't get a C4 up, which it looks like he won't be able to, they might be able to at least get the fuse down. Pengu's gonna have to make some smart plays here.
Oh, he goes in for the peek and BC goes down. The headshot running from Pengu. They'll deal with one man. Canadian goes down, and there you go. G2 secure map number 2. And that is a 2-0 for a European squad, as EG struggling early on here on Consulate, but that was the map of choice as well for G2. We'll see how map 3 plays out between these two teams, as right now it is definitely a bit of scary play from G2. EG have not been able to find the riposte to deal with G2 in this.
4 rounds against 12 rounds won. That is a third of the rounds they've been able to take. Not even half, a third. So we may not see that infinite overtime after all the way things are going, but like I pointed out earlier, this is how things started the last time they met in a serious fight like this.
They're playing for that trophy, the shield. At the end of the day, we'll have one team lift it. We'll see who they're going to try to bash with. So it's definitely getting pretty hot in here from this matchup alone. It's getting sweaty, that's for sure. But that aside, we'll head to the analysis desk here, and we'll see how Panky and the team break things down before we get to map number 3, G2 EG right now. G2 2-0.
Thank you very much, Emzo and Milos. Time then to hear what our analysts have to say about those first 2 rounds that were pretty clear-cut for G2. They followed their normal formula, though. Let a couple of rounds slip, and then come back and storm the whole game. Let's talk about Bank first. Alex kicking things off. Evil Genius did pick up the first round, but G2 answered it following that with an interrogation.
Yeah, that my biggest note there is just interrogation question mark. That should probably not have happened. Let's put it like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we can easily say that EG tried to counter-strat some of the things that G2 was doing, but they were playing setups that looked very close to what they used to do, and then swapping up either positions of players or the aggression level that they play there. Junas played immensely well on the main stairs, and got quite a lot of work done there.
Yeah, Eunice has done a fantastic job this entire tournament holding that staircase. Wilkie, any standout moments for you for Bank?
Yeah, Eunice is my pick for the standout player from Bank as well, but I only hope that teams would actually watch what he keeps doing, because he's always on those main stairs. So if you go to the middle skylight, you can get a pretty easy picture on him.
All right, well, unfortunately for Evo Geniuses, they're a bit out of time on figuring that out and learning that. Maybe they can, you know, put it in there for future. Are you sticking by your predictions of 3-1 and 3-2 to G2? Or do you think this may end up being a 3-0 now?
Yeah, like we talked about it, I actually in my head said 3-1, but then from my mouth it went 3-2. So
well, 3-2 was written on my paper, so that's what you're stuck with.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely feeling more around. Over to Consulate, the second one. We weren't sure perhaps why G2 had been banning this out all tournament and avoiding it in the tournament. Thought they maybe had some special strategies in mind or something crazy. Alex, was there anything in there that looked crazy new and different from them?
Actually, it kind of felt like they went exactly back to what it was they used to be so good at. They threw Pingu up on the window. First time didn't go so well. Up on the balcony. First time didn't go so well. Actually, their first two admin pushes kind of failed hard. But we've seen them continuously like lose 1 or 2 rounds and then just destroy and dominate right after. It seems like they just need to read their opponents, and then they'll swap up these tiny little things and dominate.
Yeah, I think it was more, to be honest, as the 2 rounds that they lost on Consulate were those rounds you talk about, pushing from admin with Pengu on the A window, A balcony. Those are the 2 they lost. They won everything else. So when those bomb sites were locked and Evo Geniuses were forced elsewhere, then Penta had a free time, but they just couldn't get in through admin. Wookie, those other rounds, those attack rounds and then the defense rounds that they dominated that second half, what was it that Penta were G2 were doing so well in those rounds to pull off those victories? Because Evo Geniuses were running out of time a lot.
Yeah, that's the same problem EG had yesterday against Rogue is still there. They are running out of time. It was the case in Bank, it's the case in Consulate. Hopefully it's not the case in third map, but they're burning a lot of time. And G2 is one of the best teams to burn that clock, because they will roam a lot and they will challenge you, and there's usually, if there is one guy, there's a second guy, and then there's third guy, so they are just burning the clock second by second, and you're a bit scared to advance when you know that there's all those people around. So you might need to actually change your push to come from the other side, but then all the guys that were on, let's say, admin, actually just rotate to the yellow or CEO, and it's same thing over again. So it's time management, the biggest problem for EG at the moment.
So we see these slow round strategies working for Vitality on multiple occasions. Alex, why is it that EG trying to play that slowly and waiting to these last few seconds isn't working for them? Are they not clearing the room as effectively, or what else is it?
I think, as we mentioned with Vitality, they have a much more not even dynamic, but their setup actually works when they start to attack. They wait and keep everyone alive. They have enough utility at the actual attacking time. So when they do explode in those last 10-15 seconds, they can make something out of it. EG was trying to get plants off with 4 seconds left in a 2v2. Like, it's not enough. We saw a round they opened up Garage Wall, 20 seconds left. That just doesn't work.
So going into Border as our third map, what do you need to see from Evo Genius to turn this around? What from these current maps do they need to just completely wipe out and start again on Wilkie?
They need to be brave. They need to challenge faster the defenders of G2 and take the map control so that you actually have time to execute. And at the same time, from the defensive side, you cannot let those ninja plants go away. Like, at least 2 rounds G2 just planted when there was almost 5 people on both sides still alive. So that's, every time you see that, it's like, how can that happen? Like, you have no one there.
We did see a couple of slightly surprising bans coming out, especially on Bank, that we weren't expecting to see. You guys with predictions of Mirror and Lion almost flawlessly coming out from G2 didn't have, and they went for a Maestro ban on Bank. Anything you think that might still be hidden away there for Border, Alex?
I think they'll have something. I really liked when EG banned IQ and G2 went to just play almost all the traps. They had Leash and Echo, everything. That I think they have some more hidden up their sleeve, yeah.
When it comes to defending / attacking on Border, with EG being on the back foot, are there any sites that they're going to be angling towards, or any styles you think that may well be their preferred outlook on this map?
Canadian Troy needs to be a bit more aggressive on his pulse, because they're not showing him any respect right now at all. We saw on Consulate, they were running around not caring that he was right below them. So he's going to have to be a bit more aggressive.
Make an impact. Speaking of aggressive and making an impact right now, rookie Kanto Raketti is stepping up big time in his roles for G2 on that roaming dock in certain situations of defense, being that very forefront aggressive Ashe on their attack rounds, going over to the border, knowing him as well as you do. How well do you feel he's gonna shift over to that for that same role?
As long as he can keep playing those ACOGs, he's gonna rock the place. Like the Ashe pick is so natural for him. He just loves to play those 3 speeds. On border, he doesn't really play 1 speed on defense, but we have seen him play Mira later, so he might actually be holding the side with Mira, but that's not comfort pick for him, so he might actually be playing something else as well.
I seem to remember one of the first rounds we actually saw him play with this roster before they were G2. He picked up the Jaeger on border and dominated all of their opponents, coming out on top and really showing the world why the name Carry Rocket is the one he adopted. Alex, do you have any final thoughts before we jump into this?
Let's hope it becomes a 3-1, so I'm right.
He wants his prediction right. Let's see then if Evil Genius can claw back any rounds or perhaps pull off a reverse sweep. If we get to round number 5, then we'll have another chance to chat about maps number 3 and 4 on the desk before we finish. But for now, we need to head back to Emzo and Milosh to finish off, or potentially move us into our finals.
Thank you very much, Panky. And now we're in Border Map 3.
This is a dangerous position to be in because coming off console, this is another map. These are the 2 maps that G2 has not shown anything on here at this event. Now, of course, EG have played it twice. They won it twice, a 6-4 and 6-2. They had very good plays on it, but they can't afford to lose this. This is their map pick. This is one they've been strong on, but they have no idea how to gauge G2, and we saw the effect of that on console as well. This is a tough spot to be in.
Yeah, a big part of the play for G2 has been shutting down Canadian from EG before they got onto his site.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the thing. Is like I think when Fabian gets shut down, it's not as big a deal as when Canadian gets shut down early. His vigil roams have just been destroyed time and time again, and that is going to be a big problem. Should be a little predictable though on the bans coming out from the operators, as EG, for example, have gone with Thermite and Mira every time. But that shield there, I bet Young wishing he could work that one.
Yeah, that is what we're playing for at the end of the day. $150,000, Devin.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's a change.
Yeah, it's nice. So there goes the predictable bans so far, the Thermite and the Lion. Probably Mira coming up next. And then the question, of course, is what will G2 go with for the final one? Will they ban an Echo, a Maestro, a Valkyrie, one of the usual suspects, or just say, no Vigil for you? Not that Vigil has at all been effective for Canadian.
I can see the Valkyrie being played at the end.
Yep.
Make a ton of sense in here, either the Echo or the Maestro as well.
Oh,
and Ella,
what?
Wow.
That is probably the first time Ella's ever been banned.
Yeah. So. This is...
They obviously didn't like something they saw in the times that EG have played this so far. So.
I mean, stairs holds, we've seen so many times where the Ella on her own is able to maneuver through CCTV, in the hallway, the armory, the stairs into servers, power positions for the CZ3A1.
Absolutely, and it is definitely the case where players like NVK are very, very strong on those kind of roles. I mean, but if they win a ton of their defenses, we may not see a ton of EGs. Necrox.
Right, Necrox onto the glass, yeah. That's what happens when you leave the glass available.
Yep.
Necrox is going to go for the pick, and we've seen him do a lot of damage on either border or maps like Clubhouse in the past or currently.
I feel like G2 basically saying Lion's our only real weakness seems to be fairly accurate so far from what we've seen, unfortunately, as no matter what they've been able to bring on the attack from EG, it just hasn't been enough to shut down these defenders, because it's just, I hate to emphasize fragging power, but they just have it. They absolutely, between Pengu, Kanto, and Eunice as well, they've been fragging out. And Goga has shown up time to time, as well as Fabian, when they need to. It's just been, if you're dead, you just can't do much against them.
The confidence here being shown by G2, especially Kanto Raketti.
Yeah.
You saw it on map 2, he's just able to shut down opponents at any range, really ACOG or not. And this time he's running the hollow on the Vigil. EG will be attacking onto the armory, as they're bringing NVK again in the Dokkaebi. Dokkaebi, if the hallway is not reinforced, which in this case it is, it can do a lot of damage. Speaking of damage, Kanto Raketti down to 25 health of the initial spray of NVK.
Great initial well, I was going to say pick. I mean, it's close enough to a pick, but Kanto will probably still be able to be a bit of a problem with that low of health, although they may not know they even tagged him. They could, of course, go for a reset, as there's going to be tons and tons of time left, but it is not super necessary here, as he is just going to be trying to burn some time and look for some flanks if he can get him. But this is where NVK, of course, is going to be a little bit of a problem for him with those phone calls. Canadian playing the role he's been best at so far, but just not enough to really close out the rounds with his team.
Yeah, the wall in the armory from the balcony has been left half reinforced, which is, you know, signals that G2 would like to play a bit more aggressively, I guess. They ban the thermite, but then don't reinforce the whole wall with the Habana only available.
Well, that means Eunice is not necessarily going to be trying to play any kind of bandit tricking. He's going to be playing a bit more of a roam role that he has been doing, I'd say, pretty effectively on bandit. So I would expect big things from him. But they are going to get CCTV, it looks like, for free. So far that's giving up half the wall and CCTV for free, but they're going to hold a bit in offices and make sure that kind of push. Now remember when we saw EG versus Rogue, how much those back office pushes were completely shut down by Rogue. So it seems like EG have learned maybe our back office pushes are not our strong suit. Let's go for the armory side, and I imagine that's going to be the philosophy here, as G2 were set up to counter that office push side, but Fabian on a roaming Jaeger here. This is a role we haven't seen him play too much.
Yeah, NVK in the meantime holding the east stairs, at least the entrance of them. EG taking their time. They open up the jail and trying to move in with the buck. NVK spotting the vigil, at least getting a beat on him, realizing that the stairs might be the position he'll be pushing in. Kanto is taking a lot of damage, but is still alive as Young burns the ADSs on the site.
They are going to get set up for a push here, but it is taking a while because they haven't been able to find any picks. Goga, though, smartly hiding his yokai drone. That's going to help against this Glaz big time.
Oh, a Necrox, though, regardless, will get the kill on Pengu. They're going for the spray. Goga cannot find the player in the back. As the bearing 9 spray, Goga will take down Canadian. Now 4v4, Pengu being lost. No smoke in for G2. Goga peeking for the second. Can he find him? Yes, he can, but NVK in the meantime on Kanto Raketti. Goga going down, though, to MVK. SMG-12 proving its worth with Fabian. From the archive gets one. The Jonas, though, comes in with the Bandit 1v2. Advantage for G2. BC in playing the ACOG against his opponents, but he's got 2 angles to worry about. Moves in with 8. Jonas with the pistol. Swings it wide open. That's the Bandit to shut things down. Round number 1 in the hands of G2.
Opening half the wall didn't do them a whole lot of good when they just could not control that small office. I appreciate the attempts there with the smoke and the try to push in with the Glaz, but the fact that Glaz was only able to find one, Necrox could not control the space. Goga was just able to rotate time and time again and fire perfectly into the diffuse planter because, well, that's such a predictable spot. I mean, the only other spot is over on the lockers, and he would have seen that as well. He was on the yokai drone originally, so he knew exactly how they were pushing. That was such a smart play.
NVK had walked into the archives previously, but got shot down by Fabian on the rotation with the Jaeger.
Yeah.
And that cost EG the round. They had the perfect flank off, and they used it to their advantage to shut down G2. But late game rotation works out fine, and time management running things here for a North American squad of EG. We head to round number 2.
We'll see if they can make this attack a little bit better this time, because they're going to be attacking on a different bomb site, down in ventilation. Same roles pretty much coming out here for the most part, other than Fabian taking up the smoke instead of Pengu. So Pengu can be playing that castle role. See how that works out. Kanto probably not going to get shot so much at the beginning of the round this time, but you never know. Young going to be back on that Blackbeard he's so good at. However, we have seen Pengu be a great counter to Young quite a few times, although I feel like the two of them, I would love to see a 1v1 between Pengu and Young because they've had some great fights so far.
No, that is very true, to say the least. Jonas, Leon here in the Bandit. The walkway, Pengu reinforcing the back of the fountain. Because again, the mirror is not available, so the olden times, when these two teams played against one another in Atlantic City, the mirror was available, was played in the fountain. It's the way that things were done. Here, we won't see this thing being played anymore, as still, you hold the floor from below by taking control of the floor above it. Make sure you waste as much time as possible. If you don't do it that way, then the attack will have a very easy way to come into the site, even hold those top angles to his advantage. The hatches being a big part of play for attackers same for defenders.
Now this is again an attack that we saw get shut down by Rogue yesterday. Situation where both times they tried to attack from offices, whether it be armory lockers or ventilation, and it was promptly shut down. Part of that was due to the way that Bandit was playing, so Eunice is going to be a key component in holding that room. However, they are going to fight a few different angles to try and push, but no, they don't take control of CCTV to try and have some more flank. Instead, they're just going to go push around. Maybe we'll see some grenades from Big Bag Canadian coming down, because BC has taken up the role that usually Canadian plays. Fortunately, BC not spotting that. There was the mark, but did not see the face time. Goga again on that echo.
Yeah, that second or so that it takes you to mark players against BC, Jonas will fall back. And that's the first layer of this onion-style defense being taken by EG.
Took a minute and a half, though.
Yeah, that's the part. That's why you're saying you hold the top for as long as possible. Make sure you're burning at least time from your opponents. Blackbeard is outside, and Young is just watching peek.
Important thing is they did see the Yokai drone rotate at least, but there we go, Canadian with a surprise attack on Pengu.
Vehicle customs here, the ventilation, a big part. The attack as well, when you know that your opponents are cornered into the archives. It's the easiest way to deal with them because they're so focused on players coming in from the office. Canadian opening things up for EG. Should be able to smash into jail if needed and push into the site. In the meantime, continue droning with 50 seconds on the clock. G2 losing that first player might impact them on Jonas coming in, expecting players to come in from jail, but the call from the Dokkaebi will force him back onto the stairs for just a bit. In the meantime, Young wasting no time at all. He goes in for the fight against Jonas, but ends up taking damage from it without able to down the Bandit, and Canadian coming in from the side, breaching into jail. Uses it perfectly for his advantage. Goga in the meantime taking down Young with the bearing 9. Jump in as Goga gets shot down by BC with Kanto Raketti on the refrag. He finds 2! Necrox and BC are down on the floor. Diffuser down as well. 2v2 with 9 seconds on the clock. NVK with 1. And all that Kanto Raketti has to do is waste time. Nothing available. Diffuser's on the floor. He's got him. And the round goes the way of the defense. G2 with a beautiful play positioning from Kanto Raketti on the eastern stairs. And that's a huge, devastating round for EG.
And that's why, while you don't give the man an ACOG, you also don't give him 2 great guns, so he doesn't even have to reload between kills. Just phenomenal play from Kanto. Even without an ACOG at that long a range, he is just unstoppable, even in those tight situations. So far, looking very bad here for EG, but they're going to go to bathroom tellers. This could be a chance to come back, but have G2 learned from the times they have struggled on the attack of the site? Have they figured out what they need to do? Again, they did not show this map during this event, so it is hard to say what this defense will be like, but you know Castle's part of it.
Oh my god, what is this man even made of at this point?
You know, and that's the thing is, like, yeah, G2 have struggled a bit recently in some of the LAN events, but that was with Kanto warming up to this team, and he is just raging hot at this point.
Yeah, you saw how well he did at Atlantic City, and a big thing for G2 in that event, they mentioned Lion was in play all the time, especially on Consulate. They played Liquid in the grand final. A DreamHack lost the secret, having their own problems in the semifinals. Here, they're reformed and back again at full force. And it is very much proving like a complicated matter. EG, Paris Major Grand Final, 2-0 up in maps in this best of 5 overtime infinitum. Infinitus? Nobody knows Latin, right? Nobody speaks that language anymore. But it's a big advantage for G2 in that second round. Not only because it puts the second one on the board, but also morale. It is so important. Yeah. It's so weird. G2 prepare for these 2 maps to be played in the grand final of the Paris Major 3 months ahead and during the entirety of the Pro League, DreamHack, and during the standard play of the Paris Major.
Well, it is definitely working out for them in terms of the fact that they had 2 no-shows on these maps. Meant it. EG just walked right into it. Feels like Villa all over again the way things are going so far. However, you never know. There we could see a comeback from EG, but some of those rounds were very, very close, especially that second round there. So they may be able to pull it back here on the bathroom attack.
EG every single time so close, but oh so far It's BC starting off, droning bathroom tellers being picked up by G2, and Kanto Raketti, aggressive play here with the armory over the half wall. And ERC to fall back and deny any drone information. See how he's using it periodically.
Scared him from behind there.
Also has the Bandit to support. Kanto Raketti taking damage from Young's Blackbeard, but he still dishes a decent chunk. Kanto Raketti finding the ankle in NVK, but Young will refrag, still holding the rotations, but G2 lose one player. They have taken down the only hard breacher for EG, so they just fall back, play to their advantage. All walls are soft. They should be easily taken down by BC and Canadian. And there you go, the camera was feeding information. Can destroy that bulletproof camera by just hitting it on the side.
Well, they have a backup in the form of that yokai drone.
You gotta worry about that, so a sledge of Canadian in by ventilation. As the rest of G2 are still up top. EG droning themselves in as Young holds the angle, waiting for a potential peek from Jonas.
Big problem for him, though, is half health. Now, that wouldn't be a big problem with some operators, but a Blackbeard, if they can hit him at all on the body, that is his biggest weakness. And the fact that he's at low health means it's that much easier to turn that into a kill. Looks like Goga, though, going to have to come off this yokai because pressure is falling on him. They're starting to push site. He can't just hang out here anymore.
And the bathroom is completely open. Zofia checking in 2 of her lifelines. Goga with the shotgun in hand can use that to his advantage. Call coming in for EG as they use it perfectly. Young with one of Pengu. With the refrag, Necrox with one more. The information relayed onto the Zofia Goga coming in for the kill on BC. 2-2, Necrox and Canadian alive with 25 seconds. Not for long though. Goga with a headshot on Necrox. In from above, Pengu again. Fantastic play from G2, and EG cannot find the angle. They push in from below, but they're unable to secure the top floor, which is oh so important for the attacks. 3-0 up for G2.
I'm a little nervous that this is going to be one of our shorter casts here. This is not looking good at all. I am flabbergasted by just the power of G2. You get one kill, you're pretty much inviting yourself to be traded the moment later. You cannot get a man advantage on EG. The 2-2 is really the best they can seem to get, and that is 2-2 against some very, very strong players.
I'll have to give it to him though. Goga, a player that we've talked about quite a bit and seen doing a lot of support work for the team, showing that can definitely, again, show up whenever necessary.
Yeah.
If it's Thermite, if he's on the attack, or the IQ in the past, and even the Echo. Support up close, intelligent play to peek in and take down the Zofia, and then with a follow-up shot on the sledge.
Definitely. Very smart play. Great use of his yokai drones. I wasn't sure how Goga was going to be on Echo, but so far he's proven to be a very, very effective Echo. And the thing is, he's not just using it for sight plays. He's using it for intel all over the place. Yeah. Even when he loses one, the second one, he is just great yokai control in terms of, I'm not going to waste it on just tons of stuns or trying to deny sight. I'm going to tell you where they are so Pengu can come around and shoot them.
But they used the Zofia EG to tap into the bathroom, and they saw that there was one player instantly. It's like a Jmot mine. It functions the exact same way as the Ela mine, which is a proximity trigger. It was triggered instantly when thrown into the bathroom. They know there's a player in there, and they had the hold from the hallway. And even then, they're not able to come into the bathroom and get a plan. If that had been done, things might have turned out very differently for Evil Geniuses. G2, cusp of a 3-0 victory. Will the prediction of Zeronic and Wilkie come to fruition?
Looking more likely for Zeronic to be closer at this point. It is a unfortunate situation, but comebacks are entirely possible. We've seen many from EG in the past. Definitely doable here, but they need to really be careful in this round. They're finally go back to a site they have attacked before, up to lockers. They should have a little bit more information and knowledge than before, although it's rarely completely repeated on defenses from G2. They're going to be depending on Fabian to play the smoke, and then everyone else doing similar roles. It's just, this is a strength they're going to play off of. Everyone did their job well last time. Didn't get to really see whether or not they left half that armory wall soft. It looks like it could all be reinforced this time. Young, though, going to be bringing the IQ as it's not banned for once, so they are going to get some intel on Eunice's batteries here.
They realize dealing with the Echo has been a big part of this attack, and You know, EG are not bringing a Thatcher, but can shut down the Bandit batteries in the back. BC should be able to find the angle to get the kill on it, and that's why you don't really require the Thatcher. It makes things a lot easier, but if you're able to secure the bottom floor, kills on the batteries are very, very efficient. Here, of course, the only operator, hard destructor available is the Habana.
Now, I do wonder if EG might have shot themselves in the foot a little bit with that, but they at least banned Goga's favorite operator. So there is that once it comes to G2 having to attack, but Necroc's going to be able to open up that wall now, does so, at least with one X-Cairo, and that gives BC some angles, but he can't find Fabian hiding on the other side of those lockers.
Young in the meantime, scanning in. If there's any utility, should be able to spot Goga's Yokai. Set up, and there you go. Gonna get taken down. Gas canister chucked in as Goga peeks in. He finds the head of BC. He maneuvers himself by the lockers. As Necrox comes in, gets one. Goga trying to go for the down on the second. Pengu takes him out. And Kanto Raketti, the headshot of the SMG-12. 4v2 advantage for G2. This Canadian still alive. NVK going down. Goga realizing when he can peek. And Jonas for the last one. Canadian and EG unable to push the offices to have the flank that were almost at least worked for them in the past. That was a round that definitely should not have been lost. And now 4-0. G2 a potential 2 rounds away from a 3-0 annihilation.
I am loving these counter pushes from G2. As soon as they identify the execute is coming down, 2 to 3 players are just pushing aggressively against it, and you saw the way they're playing it too, very smart. G2 or Goga will take a shot, take one down, back off, let Pengu take shots, let Fabian take shots. They'll trade them.
When do you ever expect the Echo to peek you? Every single time. You're like, no, he's going to stick to the Yokai.
Yeah.
Right? No. He's just going to peek you and get a kill off him.
Yeah. And then it's the beauty of it here is they will do that. They will play 2 to 3 people, trade off shots so they don't get traded back, and then have at least one person covering the flank on a roam. You saw it in the offices. So the fact that they've like, okay, we'll go for a flank, maybe we can catch one of these people behind because it looks like a one-dimensional defense. No, there is someone there waiting for you, taking advantage of the fact that you think you're being smart.
Exactly.
Playing right into G2's hands. It's fantastic.
They put EG in a position where they feel comfortable with where they are, but then immediately G2 are able to remaneuver and pounce on their opponents so far in this series. Only 4 rounds have been won by EG. A total of 16, though, have been taken by G2.
I gotta say, though, whatever it took for G2 to pick up these guys, worth it.
Definitely worth it. I heard there was like $3 billion, something like that.
Still worth it. Still worth it.
Worth every single penny. Fabian was talking about this yesterday and saying, we don't want to let G2 down.
They are certainly not.
Yep. I'm pretty sure Carlos Ocelot from G2 is just sitting back, enjoying this match and very happy with the way that the squad is performing with a lot of stress off their shoulders after this transfer. EG, though, they have the full hope of North America behind them and the full support of the region. Unfortunately, the crowd is French. And NVK, though, finds the first kill. Kanto Raketti, the Vigil, eliminated early on. A big start for EG as they need this so desperately.
This could be the rally that they needed, as you just mentioned. They are going to switch up attack operators a little bit, but the defense pretty much staying the same as it has from round to round in terms of operators. Eunice playing a dangerous game here against this window. Young is watching. Both of them waiting for the first person to make a wrong move. Could it be Eunice if he gets the wrong information or just brazen off black information? He showed a lot of restraint so far, so I have faith he can stick it. And Young, unfortunately, gets nothing out of this hold.
That is a close angle being held by Young. Necrox continuing to drone in as EG kind of found their stride, at least in this round.
Again,
continue on.
An office's take, though, and this has not been their strength.
Ooh.
Oh, nicely done.
Bandit trick done so well. Jonas burning off one, but BC gets the second. That's Pengu eliminated as NVK gets down, but picked up swiftly by EG. BC is the one now. A bit of a lower bit of health, but advantage clearly for EG.
Well, the 2 strongest fraggers are down first, so that does bode well for EG, but Eunice has shown up quite a bit as well as Goga, especially on this map. So it is definitely going to be still an uphill battle, even with the man advantage, which they're finally getting for once.
G2 now back down onto the site, as Young will continue to drone. NVK trying to find the angle. No player down in the site. Meantime, rest of EG droning in from the opposite end as the stairs, eastern stairs. The position Necrox will try to go for. BC can be reset, but with 47 seconds on the clock, might not be too much time to go for it. Fabian gets down in BC, shutting the IGL for G2 down. Goga with the refrag on NVK as he puts himself back in the bathroom. Position he did so much work from in the previous round. Canadian watching the hatch with 28 seconds left. Forcing Bandit here to peek him as Goga will be confirmed in the bathroom. Jonas finding the angle but can't do the damage. He'll peek in and try to crouch against Goga, but he gets the kill. Diffuser dropped the second one in. Jonas gets the finisher on Canadian. 2 more left as BC gets one, and Necrox with the finisher. EG finally put the round on the board, and you can see the face of relief on Evil Geniuses. Happy with the first one, but it's gonna take a long time to get this thing back, as reminds us of 6 Invitational 2018 in Montreal, as EG that time were up 2-0.
Yep.
And they were all the way on map point and match point, where their opponents at G2 were able to tie them and take them to overtime, where they got the win on that map. And there you go. The crowd going ham, wanting this game to go on and on and on, and boy, do we want it to go further. EG getting the support. G2 with a tactical pause called by Shas.
I love it. You drop one round and you're calling tactical pause. Although in this case, we know it from last map. They're just calling it because of the switch side. So this is where they're gonna think about what they can do going into the side switch. This is the little halftime pause essentially for them. So they did just fine off of it last time. Both times when they've come on the side switch, they have not dropped a single round. They only seem to lose rounds based off the last 2 maps during that first part. They've just lost the 1. This time not 2. So already, based off of history here, G2 had an even stronger advantage going into the side switch with a 4-1. Now, of course, EG have been slightly stronger on defense on this map in the 2 matches they played so far. One of them they won 3 out of the 6. The other one they won 4 out of the 6. So they have been fairly good on it. But against a team like G2, who seems very, very strong in terms of their ability to take map control and frags, as well as get the plants down very early and not having so much of a time management problem, I feel like this is definitely going to be EG having to figure out what they've been doing wrong, not just this map, but the last 2 maps. It's going to be a tough battle.
Necrox on the Vigil as Canadian on the Pulse. BC for the Echo, and wonder if there's going to be a 6th pick here. Seems like the lineup from EG is definitely tough. Necrox might move away from the Vigil, but no, he should be locking it here at the end of the 6th pick phase. None of the 2 teams switching to any other op. You saw the shield. That's the trophy we're going for, and $150,000 on the line.
I feel like whenever we come out of this tactical pauses, no one does a 6th pick. They're just like so focused on what they just talked about, you don't see it come out. But we'll see if Big Bad Canadian here can pull off his pulse. He's been shut down on from time and time again on this matchup. He's going to have to do something phenomenal here to bring it back, but at least they have a tiny bit of momentum. There's something there at the start as they start to wind their little feet up for the run that they're going to need to make to come back from this. Again, going back to last time these two had this big battle, it did go the first 2 maps in favor of EG, and then G2 took it back 3 maps. So EG could be a similar story here, but it's not looking that way so far.
EG again, they are defending the Armory and the Archives, your standard site to start on, and they are opening things up. They have 2 shotguns, the Supernova and the M870 here being used up by Young, so they can have holes to contest players from below. EG bringing the Vigil as well for Necrox.
That surprises me. I feel like this is, well, you benefit from the Jaeger, and he's been such a good Jaeger roamer. Seems like, I don't know, that might not have been the right call.
I mean, they kind of seen G2 are not really bringing any grenades to play, and their lineup here definitely has a lot of speed and momentum available. Jonas bringing the IQ to deal with the Vigil, the Pulse, and especially that Echo.
That's what I mean. It's just going to be a bit more troublesome, not to mention now they have no ADSs against any kind of grenades, which they're not really bringing, but nonetheless, there are plenty of dual grenade launchers as well as any other utility from like breaching rounds, things like that, they could stop. But I suppose if they decide the lineup probably isn't worth it. But this is only the first round of their defense, so they'll fill things out. Half this wall, of course, reinforced into the CCTV, so we'll see if they push it. But Pengu playing a very aggressive Zofia on this AC window here.
Yeah, that is a position we're used to seeing Pengu playing in as he rotated from the roof. Canadian with a C4 being chucked in. As Necrox on the floor, Canadian connects, and Pengu will be the first to fall, punishing that position on the window. Necrox is still down, but should get picked up very quickly. Jonas, this is the time to come into the office. There's no bandit batteries for him to deal with on the side as G2. Again, they're bringing one hard breacher, the only one available, and they spot the pulse playing from downstairs, using the electronics detector to their advantage. Even Necrox spotted in the back on the ERC. Cantor Ricchetti trying to move in for the east balcony, and so rely on the drone from the Habana. Goga moves in as Jonas will get the kill on Canadian, getting the snipe here.
Well, I do feel like they got slowed down a bit by that kill on the Pengu, but the kill on the Canadian is going to speed things right back up. Still plenty of time left, and they've been very swift on their plans when they get in here. I imagine Goga's going to go for that soon, but no, he's down!
NVK with a shot on Goga, C4 connecting. As Cantor Ricchetti will be the one to go for it. Echo drone being spotted, but NVK with one. Unfortunately can't get the second one as Jonas will refrag. Using the IQ, 3v2 advantage for EG as Jonas is still alive, protecting the diffuser plant as he bounces in. Young will go down. The flip from Jonas cannot connect just yet. Pistol in hand, he tries to engage. Opponent in the back. BC is still alive, but the diffuser's been planted. The Echo trying to face off against Jonas as Cantor Ricchetti puts himself on the outside now. EG need to go for the retake. BC, we've gotten one, we'll have to deal with Kanto. 2 windows. Well, they'll have to watch. The diffuser's set on the side, and if they can play the teamwork correctly, things can go well. Cantor Ricchetti, will he peek? He's just gonna stick it. BC might just be able to finish it right here, and there you go! The defense of EG will get the second round. They might be down, but they're not out just yet.
Well, they're gonna need one more round to break the record from the previous 2 maps, but what a great retake. Unfortunately, the kill on Eunice was what they needed, just to be able to turn things around a little bit to make it more even, so they could have some finally man advantage at the end again to try and take that. That was some great play. Unfortunately, just lack of intel there by the attackers, not able to figure out that he was sticking that defuse. Timing didn't work out. So maybe defense will be their saving grace here.
That's why you run the IQ.
Yeah.
Even though Canadian got that early kill, could not secure, or NVK getting it off the information, could not secure things in the rest of the round himself, but teamwork and communication wins it out.
I gotta say then, you see that from the 2 C4s, you know what their one problem was that on that attack? They didn't kill anyone downstairs. The downstairs is what cost them 2 lives from C4. I think they would have got that plant down just fine had they been able to, I don't know, not get C4 midway. So we'll see. Fabian is going to be bringing the glass again, though. Something that has worked out to an extent. And of course, they won that defense. They're going to go to vents. No surprises there, which means no surprises for G2 either. So if they're bringing that glass, it's for a reason on this attack. Now, they can't tap Thermite to open up the wall, but they're, of course, going to bring Habana from Goga to do some damage there. Kanto, again, going to be playing the role he's been playing so well along with Eunice. So far, this lineup been very effective. One, when they're not getting C4'd. I do think there was some good Echo play last round, but they're not going to be playing Echo this time. They're going to depend on BC to do a good job. But Canadian, again, going on the Vigil. Something that he has had outside of this match, he has had good success with. Inside of this match, though, it has been shut down and again, and Eunice bringing the counter-operator that you saw how well it worked on Canadian when he was at the Pulse can work even better sometimes when he's the Vigil.
In North America Pro League. Oh no! There it is! Canadian going down!
The irony! Do you realize the irony of that right there? Kanto twice getting picked the same way as the Vigil. Kanto going, you know what? I could do it just as well as you can. That is fantastic play by Kanto.
Oh my, oh me. What is that? Cantor Ricchetti up with a bang.
Wow.
It's similar to Fabian in a similar spot.
When he was playing Rook.
Back in Gamescom, we even saw it with a Twitch when he was playing along the attacking side.
Wow.
G2, huge advantage. And in the second spotted NVK to go down. Castle unavailable as G2 pull ahead with a 2-man advantage.
Now, with the points the way they are, I mean, this is not match point just yet, but getting close. But Eunice taking out means maybe a little bit more safety for some of these gadgets, but that's about it.
C4 being ripped apart here by Necrox and thrown in and does not connect with anyone. Breaching charge being used by Pengu to blow up the sidewall in the office. In the meantime, remind you, defense is in ventilation and in the workshop as Pengu using the window to drone in, make sure that his opponents are not there. And you see the conga line of drones to gain information as G2 are setting up post-plant drones as well.
They could even be going for a B plant here. They're going to start clearing out some of the utility in the room itself.
Cantor Ricchetti along the outside as Fabian has to go through the castle barricade. G2 have a ton of time to go through this.
Yeah, they are set up again for a potential fast execute. If Goga can get inside, that Legion might not going to do a whole lot to really stop him here. And now Fabian cutting off one of their rotations.
And Necrox with the spray, but he gets shot down from the back. Fabian with the finisher of the PMM, and G2 slipping in here. Pengu with one more. The last is spotted, but Young with a 2 down. It turns to a 2v1. Young has the information from Toxic Minds here. So go for the finisher on Fabian. Though Cantor Ricchetti holding one angle, Pengu with the second. Young on half health. He can go for the jump out. I don't know if he does have a impact nade to play against it. No, he does not. Cantor Ricchetti to get the last kill of the round. G2 on map and match point.
I am so scared of this 3-0 happening here.
Oh, I bet he's GR as well.
Oh, I can only imagine. They might have not needed a bathroom break after all, the way things are going here. Oh, man. Ventilation again here.
This crowd is definitely not helping things for EG. A European crowd, the stark difference to what we saw at 6th Invitational, where the crowd was EG all the way, bleeding blue. Here it's G2 and their army right behind them.
This is where EG need a serious tactical pause, and not going to get one. It is down to, can they control their mental state? Can they focus to bring this back? Because they, again, have yet to break the 2-round record across any of these maps, and that's just going to make them even more confident on G2. But Fabian sneaking a 6th pick there. That didn't work out so great for him. Sometimes in previous rounds did manage to get kills on it. We'll see, though, if that is going to be a weakness here for this attack, because this is again on ventilation. I think he was pretty effective on that glass last time, so I don't know if this is the smartest play, but again, they like to be unpredictable when they can, and it seems to work to an extent, so credit where credit's due.
All right, we'll see how EG defend this one, as again, the only way for EG to win this one here is to tie it 5-5 and go to that very first unlimited overtime on our 3rd map.
Well, at least they will have a bit more intel and counter intel this time, because they're bringing the Valkyrie and the Mute. So they're going to deny some of that droning. We saw some conga lines, as you mentioned last time. Also, let's say they get in a situation like last time where they need to go for a jump out. They just might have a camera outside to help them. So good switch up by Canadian, who, again, was not very useful on either Pulse or Vigil. Going to bring something that maybe if he dies early, he's still going to be able to contribute to the team, as well as he can watch those himself. So I appreciate the smart change up in terms of reading into what's working, what's not, and what could be your last round.
And Cantor Ricchetti early on here, going for the same spray that we saw before.
Why not?
It worked once, it can work again. Fabian on the rooftop as Jonas clearing out the cameras, default cams. G2 so efficient here, moving in, making sure EG are denied as much information as possible. G2 as EG, you mentioned it. They have the Valkyrie available. So, and forward a lot of information to the players. Cantor Ricchetti wasting no time to open up the wall into the office. Jonas right in front of him with the drone. This is G2 on steroids to try to push in to the archives.
Well, we'll see if they can at least push the defenders downstairs, as you see them starting to fall back as this attack is taking control, because the drones from Pengu and Goga are finding these defenders, and Pengu watching that AC window yet again. Necrox, though, going to have to do what he can to hold them off. He has a C4, I would imagine. There it goes. Fortunately, not doing anything. Nope, that is, I mean, that might have been Canadians as well, to be fair. It was hard to see who actually went for the C4, and Canadian was in a position potentially be using it, but any loss of utility here is really crucial for EG.
Now you hear the SMG-12 rattling off in the background as Fabian trying to open up a side of the wall. Pinch out any defender still locked in the armory. And there you go. Last of the evil geniuses. Will drop from the hatch and play from the servers as the mute jammers are trying to waste time for G2. Jonas, in the meantime, taking control of the main lobby. Unfortunately for the IQ, you don't have any more grenades to break down the castle barricade, but X-Kyro is definitely usable. An extra set as well used on the opposite wall to go for the walk-in. It's a bathroom has been cleared out.
Well, hopefully they drone in here to find that out so Eunice doesn't have to continue to hold that angle, but he's going to come off. Now they have the push here, but they have to execute on it.
Canadian up close, getting aggressive against G2 with NVK delaying things as much as possible. Passport is available. So can be used by G2 if need be. Jonas still in the main lobby here is Fabian. Will find the first kill, and it is on Canadian. The Valkyrie removed from play. Will stick to the cameras in the in-game lead as G2 get onto the site. Goga tagged by the Guma. Goes in for the plant in the back. Fabian with the second one on Necrox. 5v3 advantage for G2. Get closer for the win. Fabian with one more. Jonas, the back spray as there's someone alive. Goga with one. And NVK last alive. The hope of North America on NVK. Hildan want to take him out. Starting the comeback potential as NVK is even lower in health here. Tagged by Jonas. Have to move into the castle, but his position is revealed to G2. EU close to getting the victory, and he goes down! G2 will take the win, and for one more time, G2 will take it. That's the second major tournament of the year. After 6 Invitational 2018, won out by Europe, G2 spearheading the push for European Rainbow Six Siege. And that's it. One more, a 3-0 absolute destruction. The European squad as EG failed to find the opener, not a single map, so few rounds, Stefan. They celebrate the grand champions of the Paris Major, G2.
When you've gotten as many rounds across 3 maps as they got on 1 map, you are in such a tough spot to be. Look at them, just, I hate to use the word unstoppable, but G2 are unstoppable at this point.
They are absolutely magnificent in their plays, but again, magnificent part of Siege and professional plays, the respect between these two teams and esports players, teams in general. Remind you that this exact same scenario happened at 6 Invitational, though we'll head to Matt on the stage to close it out. So from us here, Emzo and Milosh, good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, 6-2, 6-2, 6-2, G2! World champions! Multiple Pro League champions! The first ever 6 major champions! Fabian, you've won so many trophies. You guys are the legends of Siege. How does winning this one feel to you right now?
I mean, you can't describe it with words. It's crazy feeling, winning in front of a super good crowd that cheers for both teams. This is what esports is all about. The respect for each other, the respect for the game.
Commiserations to EG for that incredible final, but G2 are the champions, your champions of the 6 major. Ladies and gentlemen, G2! the first ever Six Major to go down in history as though the history books have got any more room for their names. Goga, Eunice, Pengu, Fabian, Kanta Raketti, your Six Major champions are G2! We'll go over to our analysts, we'll go over to our casters, we'll talk about that game that'll go down in history. Over to Panky, Wilkie, Zeronic, and all of the amazing people that make this Siege show happen. Thanks to all of you here for the Six Major Paris. We'll talk about that game now, we'll talk about that game for history. Your champions, G2 Esports.
Thank you, Matt. There you have it. Our champions once again, G2 Esports. I mean, I know Milos and Enzo weren't so sure about saying it, but I'm comfortable saying they are unstoppable. 6-2 on every single map, and I don't think there was a point in anywhere along there where anyone had any doubt that G2 were going to take that. Alex, please talk us through Border. Tell us where it all went wrong, because EG, just seemed broken halfway through.
I think it went wrong on Banging Consulate, and they had nothing left, to be honest. The first round we saw them win on Border was round 5, and there was just a sigh of relief. Not a smile, nothing. EG just went, whew. Now we have one more round to work with.
At least it's not a 6-0.
Yeah. That was pretty much what it looked like.
Wookie, what was so bad about their Border setups? What was wrong in those strategies? Why was it so easy for G2 to pick them apart?
Well, I would say G2 also got a bit lucky. They got a lot of picks, that they got those kills. But at the same time, like, when you push from the same push that they did against Rogue with the glass, they come from the armory side, they push from one side only, there's all guys pushing from there, there's no one at the beepers on the short, there's no one putting pressure to the archives from the window, off on the balcony, there's no one at the office, you're coming from one direction, it's just way too easy to put all the barrels to one direction and shut them down.
We were seeing some kind of rookie mistakes from EG as well in situations. You've got an IQ staring at a reinforced wall which you can see a pair of batteries behind it, and you fire 2 rounds of Hibana pellets at that same wall. You had Sophia underneath too, just trying to take the batteries out, but knowingly not having done it. How do you pick yourself up from that?
Well, they didn't. but yeah, that's what mental defeat looked like. G2 knows how to deal with it and can come back from these rounds, or maps for that matter. We saw them get beat 6-0 on Villa previous, and then come back and absolutely destroy on Villa.
Yeah, they started out this tournament being defeated 6-0 on Villa, and then for the rest of the tournament would either dominate on it or have teams so scared of it they would ban it out from them.
They're just a different beast mentality-wise. You can see it on them. We were talking about it as well, right? When they were playing, their faces, they stay focused whether they're winning or losing. It doesn't really matter to their emotions when they play, except when they pick up the trophy.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, with that, our 6th major here in Paris is done. I want to start things off, of course, by saying thank you to Zeronic and Wilkie for joining me here on the analyst desk for the entire weekend. Of course, thank you to Emzo, Milos, Interrobang, and Kickstar for casting it, Matt for hosting the stage, everyone in production for putting on, everyone at Ubisoft for helping make it all possible, and of course, most of all, you guys at home for tuning in, watching, and enjoying the show. Whatever you plan to do for the rest of your weekend, I hope you enjoy it. We have had a pleasure hosting this show for you and cannot wait to see you in 6 months' time in February at the 6th Invitational Montreal. Good night.
much.